each other.
Should be a defensive struggle, Tom, because the Seminoles are tops in the nation on defense, and the Hurricanes are tops in the nation against the run.
And one statistic, though, that does tell and may tell in this game, Jim, last week in the win over Houston, Miami won that game 14-7 at the Astrodome, but the Houston Cougars, primarily a running team, threw the ball for over 240 yards.
And it's hard to know how to defend the Seminoles because they have a balanced attack. 8 touchdowns rushing, 8 touchdowns passing.
One thing's for sure, this will be the toughest test so far for Florida State.
That's absolutely right, and we've got a big crowd on hand to help both teams.
We sure do. Football fever has hit the city of Miami. A crowd of nearly 65,000 on hand at the Orange Bowl. We'll be back for the kickoff between Florida State and Miami in just a moment. With Jim Crosby, there you see the Florida State Seminoles coming onto the field, and Jim, around the booths from these Miami people, and I've never seen Miami so excited about a college football season. Howard Schnellenberger in his second year is just doing a great job.
He sure is, and he has the credentials that will show that he is a coach to be reckoned with in the future. Do you realize that this fellow has coached under Bear Bryant, under Blanton Collier, and under George Allen? And that's, that shows that he's really been around. And of course, he coached under Don Shula, and when he was the offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, they only went 17-0.
Well, he is a great coach. You're right, he does have some great credentials. Miami's season to date 3-0. They blitzed Florida A&M as the FSU captains walked to the center of the field to meet the Miami captains. 49-0, Miami defeated Florida A&M in the first game of the season. Then the Miami Hurricanes defeated, to be truthful about it, a weak Louisville team. But last week in the Astrodome, where it's tough to win, tough to beat anybody there in Houston, the Astros, the Oilers, or the Houston Cougars, they had Houston shut down until the last play of the game and won it 14-7.
And, of course, the Florida State Seminoles with a couple of question marks here today. Their number 1 and number 2 centers went down last week, and it's a big defensive line that they'll be facing in the form of the Miami Hurricanes. They've got Big Jim Burt in there at center and Lester Williams, and these guys go around 255, 265, and when you're down to your third-string center, that's not the situation you want to be in coming into a big game like this.
All right, the toss of the coin has just taken place at the center of the field, and the official indicates that the University of Miami has won. They elected to receive. They'll be moving from left to right. The Florida State Seminoles will kick it off. Ron Simmons, Ken Lanier among those out there, along with Mr. Futch and Reggie Herring. So it's nice to see Ron Simmons in uniform and traveling rather solidly on that ankle injury which he sustained in our first telecast against LSU. We understand that the plan is not to start Ron Simmons. The plan is to start Jimmy Gilbert, but bring Simmons in almost immediately.
That's what Ron said. He said he'd be in there immediately, and I don't know anybody that's going to argue with him when he talks like that, Tom.
The Hurricanes dressed in their orange, brilliant orange with white pants, their helmets white with the orange and green trim, while the Seminoles in their road white uniforms with gold pants and that familiar Florida State Seminole helmet. Bill Capice will handle the kickoff duties, and the kickoff returns. Well, triple safety will go back for Miami. Jim Joyner, a fleet wide receiver, along with Mark Rush, also a wide receiver, and Keith Griffin. So you have 3 wide receivers out there as the Florida State Seminoles huddle it up, and Bill Capice will tee it up on the 40-yard line. Jim, I know that LSU is always tough in Death Valley, but I do think that this Miami team, the way they're playing and having to play them on the road, is the toughest test for Florida State so far this year. And the next 3 weeks are really going to tell what kind of team Bobby Bowden has, because next week we'll be in Lincoln to take on a team called Nebraska, and all they're doing is beating Penn State today, 21-7, and then Pittsburgh when the Seminoles return home.
That's right. One good thing today, though, is not a totally hostile crowd. They got a lot of Seminole supporters in the stands.
Here we go. The opening kickoff. Bill Capice fires it deep in the end zone. It will not be returned. It will not be returned for Miami. So the Hurricanes elect not to return that punt as Lawrence Thompson took it in. They'll take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Now for Miami, there's Coach Howard Schnellenberger. Miami will start Jim Kelly at quarterback. He's a sophomore, 6'3", 205 pounds. The offensive line will run down for you when we have some time. But Kelly and the Tallahassee native Mark Rodriguez will almost certainly split the action today. Jim Joyner is split to the bottom of your screen. The backs in the I formation. Kelly back to throw on 1st down. It is complete to Joyner at the 35-yard line. And making the tackle there for Florida State, Bobby Butler, but not before Joyner, who's a fast one, Jim, gathers it in.
Joyner has burned the Seminoles in the last 2 years. Last year, or the last time they were here, he scored on a 48-yard flanker around, and they threw that right in Bobby Butler's zone. So they're going to come out and test the strength of the Seminole defense.
Pat Walker now split to the bottom of your screen. Jim Joyner, the other wide receiver. Run down the setbacks for you in a moment. Smokey Roan is one of them, number 46, and he takes the handoff from quarterback Kelly. And Roan is stopped after a 4-yard gain. That first pass play, by the way, went for 15 yards and a first down. On the first down, Roan rambles for 4 yards, make it 2nd down and 6 for the Hurricanes at their own 39-yard line. And Mike Roderick comes into the game. Now, we're going to see an interesting formation here, Jim. You've got both Roderick and Kelly, 2 quarterbacks in the backfield.
Roderick can run and throw off of this formation from the tailback position.
Roderick is lining up as the tailback. Kelly's the quarterback. Let's see what happens here. Chris Hobbs is the up back in the I formation. Kelly going to keep it, and Kelly will be dragged down after about a 2-yard gain. The tackle made there by Paul Porowski as he drags him down, and this brings up a 3rd down situation.
Might point out that Ron Simmons is not in. The defensive alignment that we talked about is in there with Jim Gilbert at the middle guard there. And also Arthur Scott, who has been a consistent player all year, suffered a hip pointer against Louisville. He is well and ready to go, but he's not playing yet.
Roderick comes out of the lineup now, and Roan comes back in. Smokey Roan, love that name. Roan and Chris Hobbs are the backs in the I formation, and now they shift to the pro set. Joyner becomes a wingback. On 3rd down, about 3 yards to go. The give is to Roan. Roan will get the first down. Rocky Roan, Smokey Roan rather, into Seminole territory at the 41. They did a smart thing that time, Jim. They had everybody in tight and then turned the left end. And let's take a look at Smokey Roan and his run for the first down.
All right, Smokey Roan, number 46, has 4.5 speed, and they got the defensive end boxed in on the right side. You see Motzik, or that was Jarvis Coursey, number 64, couldn't get out there, and thank goodness for Keith Jones and Bobby Butler running him down.
So 1st and 10 for the Miami Hurricanes on the Florida State 42 is where they'll mark it. Hurricanes a nice drive, and Mark Roderick is in at quarterback for this call. Roderick gives it off to Roan. We have flags all over the place. Looks like a laundry convention, and Roan is tackled at the Florida State 37. Let's wait and see what happens in there. Paul Porowski, the first man to hit him.
You know, this town is really alive today with the sounds of college football. It looks like that they've really gotten turned on to the Miami Hurricanes for the first time since the Dolphins got here, actually, Tom.
We have holding against Miami, so a break for the Seminoles. Some other scores today. Penn State leading Nebraska 21-7. North Carolina has defeated Maryland 17-3. South Carolina, the big upset, beat Michigan 17-14 at Ann Arbor. Tennessee leads Auburn 28-0 at half. And what about those Gators?
Florida was leading 21-7 over Mississippi State going into the 4th quarter, and also a big upset in the making out in Oklahoma. Stanford leading Oklahoma 17-0 at the half.
Roderick comes out of that. Is a big upset. Roderick comes out of there, and Jim Kelly back in at quarterback. So the Miami Hurricanes have it first down, but 25 yards to go now, their own 43. There goes Kelly rolling to his right. Kelly under pressure from Porowski. Gets away. It is complete. Complete to the wide receiver for the University of Miami, and that would be Jim Joyner. Joyner makes the catch.
I'm sorry, I think I gave you the wrong name there, Tom. We were
Larry
looking
Brodsky.
at, yeah,
Brodsky
that's right. Larry Brodsky, who played at Miami Lakes here under his father, Joe Brodsky, who is an offensive coach. You see Kelly rolling out, and he's looking, and he scrambled long enough to give Brodsky time to get open, and it was a completion.
So I'll pick up a 10 yards, 2nd down 15 for the Hurricanes, now in Seminole territory at the Florida State 47. Joyner, the man in motion. And the pro set attack. Howard Schnellenberger's Hurricanes. Back to throw is Kelly. Got the time. Throws for Joyner, incomplete. Kelly had some time, but closing fast was Scott McLean coming in from his defensive end spot. Number 60 put on a lot of pressure on that man, Kelly.
And Coach Bobby Bowden says that Scott McLean has been the most consistent defensive player on the Seminole squad. He's alternated between defensive end and defensive tackle, doing a good job. You know, we might talk about Jim Kelly, the quarterback for Miami. Mike Roderick and Mark Rick have a pretty good quarterback coach on that team, fellow by the name of Earl Morrow.
I believe I heard of him. Didn't he used to have a crew cut?
Yeah.
All right.
He may still have it.
He very well may. 12:42 left to go in the first quarter. We're underway, no score. I'm Tom Mees with Jim Crosby, and happy to bring you Seminole football live from the Orange Bowl. And we're going to have another flag here as Barata, the tight end, jumped off sides. However, the quarterback, Kelly, is smothered by the Seminole defense. Whole host of Seminoles. Reggie Herring was in there, along with Arthur Scott. So Florida State may elect to take the down, which would bring up a 4th down in a punting situation. The penalty is offsides, obviously, against Barata and Miami.
You know, Tom, I would think it would be more important for Miami to get ahead early than it would be important for FSU to get on the board to start with, because FSU has to have a little more confidence in Miami because of the way they've handled the Hurricanes the last 2 years and because of the previous record.
Greg LaBelle, number 5, a 5'11 sophomore, 180 pounds, is in there to punt for Miami as it's 4th and 21. Back to receive Gary Henry's in single safety at the Seminole 15-yard line. So the Seminole defense holds up after Miami had run off a couple of quick first downs. No pressure. LaBelle gets it off. A high spiraling kick. What a good one. And Henry's going to let it bounce in the end zone. It will be a touchback. We'll return to the Orange Bowl of Miami after these messages with the score: Florida State 0 and Miami 0.
This home will be ready soon, thanks to you. I'm Walter DeMille, Executive Vice President of Sun Federal Savings. Our savers are making this happen for a local family. And here's how: through our high-interest 6-month money market certificates. Absolutely safe. Insured safe by the federal government. Isn't it nice that you can save so profitably and help other people to have a home to call their own?
Sun Federal Savings, not affiliated with Sun Banks of Florida.
I'm Spurgeon Camp here at Southern Electric, television headquarters for top name brand television.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl, everyone. I'm Tom Mees with Jim Crosby, and we apologize we missed the first play of the Seminole drive. The reason being we have a liaison on the side of the field that is supposed to signal the referees when to stop for a timeout. He did, but the referees did not listen. Sam Platt took the first down carry for 4 yards, and then on the ensuing play, tight end for Florida State University, and that would be Sam Childers, was caught with an offsides call. They'll call it illegal procedure. So the gain of 4 is wiped out. The penalty is accepted, and it's 2nd down and 11. We apologize for missing that one play, and we hope it won't happen again. Ball is spotted on the Seminole 19-yard line. Wide receiver Kurt Unglaub, way to the top of your screen. Rick Stockstill hands it off to Sam Platt. Platt over the 20, and Platt, a nice carry up near the 25-yard line. Maybe they'll mark it at the 24-yard line. And Fred Marion, a free safety from Gainesville, has to come up and make the tackle.
Sam Platt gained 130 yards last week, 107 the week before. Coach Bobby Bowden said if it hadn't been such a runaway last week and he hadn't taken Platt out, he probably could have gained 250 yards the way he was running. He's really had a good season so far.
Yes, he has. Excellent. Big third down play here. 3rd and 5 for the Seminoles. They mark it just short of the 25-yard line, and Stockstill fumbles the snap. Who's got it? I believe he falls on it. But that'll bring up a 4th down, and Florida State will have to punt again. Or I should say for the first time, with 10:50 left to go in the first quarter.
Tom, I might point out while we have an opportunity, the reason we did not have a pregame show, I know the folks back in Tallahassee are used to seeing us have a pregame before these games. We were only informed on Thursday by ABC that we would not be able to carry the Nebraska and Penn State game live. We were planning on carrying it right up to the start of this game.
Ron Stark back to punt for the Seminoles. David Jefferson, number 30. Fred Marion, number 31. Back in double safety for Miami. Stark gets it away from about his 12. And Marion takes it in at the Hurricane 30. Marion is down at the 36. And with timeout on the field, the score is Florida State 0, Miami 0. Back to the Orange Bowl, and not a welcome back for Trent Barnes, Jim. The snapper on punts, the long snapper, was shaken up as he charged underneath that punt by Ron Stark. We hope he'll be all right.
Looks like these injuries are coming in bunches. He's a center, does the long snapping for field goals and extra points. A very valuable man, and of course they lost 2 centers last week, and Coach Bowden said at the start of the year, one of the keys to having another successful season was
near the 45-yard line. Call it the 44 before a host of Seminoles there to bring him down. James Harris making the primary tackle. I want to remind you right now, this telecast is presented by WECA TV, as authorized by the NCAA and ABC Sports Incorporated. Any use of this program without the express written consent of WECA TV, the NCAA, and ABC Sports is prohibited. I'm Tom Mees with Jim Crosby. 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter. No score. Miami has the ball, 3rd and 2 on their own 45. And once again, Jim, this tight formation on the short yardage play. Simmons almost caught offsides. He got back, though. Kelly's throw complete to the tight end, Andy Barretta. And Barretta's got a Hurricane first down out of bounds at the Seminoles 35-yard line. And we're going to take another look at this one and see how Barretta got so wide open.
You see Simmons getting back on time, sides on time. but he was off balance, and so was the defense, obviously, as Beretta wide open. Bonasorte there to make sure he does go out of bounds, but it was too late. Ball's down on the 35-yard line, and Miami is on the move, Tom.
Yes, they are, the Hurricanes, and this is a boisterous crowd here, nearly 65,000, largest in 10 years in Miami. The ball on the Seminole 35. The give is to Hobbs, and we have a flag on the play. Hobbs, the up back in the I formation, gains about 3, but hold everything.
Chris Hobbs from Godby High School in Tallahassee, championship game of high school against Merritt Island. He gained 261 yards when he was a senior in high school in one game.
Another crucial penalty for Jim Kelly and his Hurricanes. Holding will be the call, and I would think that Florida State would take this. I wonder if the holding is being caused by a guy named Simmons in there. You know, they double and triple team him a lot.
They sure do, and James Gilbert has done a fine job filling in for him, but there's a fact of life. There are no two-run Simmons.
No. If there are, I want to meet the other one and get him to go to my school in a hurry. All right, 8:42 left to go in the quarter. No score if you're just tuning in Tallahassee. Gary Henry comes in for the Seminoles, extra defensive back. And going out is Jarvis Corsi. We have a 1st and 24 now at the Seminole 49 for Miami. Jim Kelly still your quarterback. Again, Simmons is almost offside, but he gets back. Kelly has the time, looking long, and it is intercepted, incomplete. Incomplete. Gary Henry with a great play against Larry Brodsky, who was open at the 10-yard line, but Henry played it well.
Let's take another look at Larry Brodsky in action, who caught an 81-yard touchdown pass against FAMU earlier this year, as Kelly is a Pennsylvanian who came down here to play ball, and you see it's good coverage, and the pass is maybe a little bit underthrown, and Gary Henry knocks it away, almost intercepts it. Keith Jones there, too.
You know, this is my first visit to Miami, but I can understand why a Pennsylvania would come down here to play football. I mean, the Northeast is all right in the fall, but who needs that snow? 2nd down, 24 yards to go for the Miami Hurricanes. Still a definite passing situation. Kelly with a fake run. Kelly's got the time, looking for the sideline for Joyner. He has it, but he's out of bounds. Out of bounds. The official says Joyner did not get his feet in bounds in time. All you need is 1 foot, and they didn't have it.
That's right, and they're not going to shake this Jim Kelly. His last year, his freshman season, the first game he ever played, he completed 18 of 20 passes and defeated Penn State in the upset of the year.
Gee, that's a pretty good accomplishment, I'd say, especially up there at Penn State.
That's right, it was there.
83,000 crazies. Well, Penn State is being defeated by Nebraska 21-7. That's the latest score we have, and I don't need to tell you where we'll be next week.
Right.
Lincoln. That's next week. It's 3rd and 24 for Miami. Seminole defense digs in. Joyner and Walker are the split ends. Kelly back to throw. Got the time. Over the middle. Complete to Walker. Pat Walker at the 30-yard line. However, it will be short of the first down. Porowski made the tackle in there along with Monk Bonasorte. And let's take a look at it again.
All right, let's watch Mr. Pat Walker, 6'3", 190 pounds, number 27 in action from Auburndale. Led the nation in per yard catches last year with 26.4. He comes up and makes a nice catch, but as Tom so aptly described it, is short of the first down.
Brings up a field goal try. Number 1, Danny Miller, 5'10", 175 junior, will put it down at the 37. This will be a 47-yard attempt, angle to the right. Dan Miller. Holding the ball will be Greg LaBelle. The snap is down. It's a good one. The kick is up. It is long enough. And it is no good. Off to the left. So with 7:21 left to go in the first quarter, we are still scoreless, Jim, and we will keep it right here at the Orange Bowl in Miami as the Florida State defense has held once again.
Well, that's only 2 field goals out of 6 tries this year for Danny Miller. I think that Coach Schnellenberger certainly would like to see a little more consistency than that. But the Seminoles got to have some consistency on offense here. The Hurricanes staying in the game and keeping them in their own end of the field, and they'd like to get it rolling now.
Okay, 1st and 10 for Florida State on the missed field goal up at the FSU 30-yard line. Good field position for Rick Stockstill. The pitch out goes to Sam Platt. Platt over the 30 to the 33 before he's run out of bounds there by the Miami Hurricane pursuit in the person of Johnny Swain.
All right, let's take a look at Sam Platt from Jacksonville, Florida on the replay, who has gained over 300 yards here this year in 3 games. And Sam makes a nice move, and he's hit on the sideline and knocked out of bounds.
Bill Williams is split to the top of your screen. Hardis Johnson is split to the bottom. The backs are in the I formation behind Stockstill. It'll be 2nd down and 8. They give Sam only a gain of 2. Again, Stockstill gives to Platt, and they're ready for it. The Hurricanes are. Platt gains absolutely nothing. Coming in there to ruin that play, Lester Williams, a 6'3", 265-pound junior, and he really dragged Sam down for no gain.
Let's watch Big Lester in action. Everybody in the nation wanted this fella. He runs the 40 in 4.7, and you see Platt cannot get out of his grasp. Once Lester grabs you, you're down.
They're down to 9 for the Seminoles. Keep in mind, Miami, the 6th best team in the nation overall in defense, number 1 against the rush. Lester Williams is a big reason why. 3rd and 9 for Florida State. Stockstill rolling back to throw, rolling deep, looking for Williams. He's got him. He's got him. Williams is out of bounds, short of the first down. They'll mark it at the 38-yard line. I believe that Florida State may have to punt. Yes,
okay, some of the fans on this side, which is the Miami side, didn't like that call. They thought he was out of bounds. But let's see on the replay. We'll have a better look at it. Fake the handoff to Platt. And Phil Williams, who runs precise patterns and has great hands, catches it and just gets his feet inbound.
So Ron Stark is on the punt. Stark will get the snap. And let's watch the snap now. We have a different snapper in there. He'll get it at the 23-yard line. Marion, it's a good snap. He's under pressure. Stark gets it off. And Fred Marion backed up. He's going to let it roll into the end zone. And it will roll deep in the end zone. And it's 6:25 left to go in the first quarter. The score, Florida State nothing, Miami nothing. We'll be right back. Tom Mees with Jim Crosby back at the Orange Bowl. Let's correct one score that we gave you. Michigan did defeat South Carolina. It was close, relatively, 14-3. South Carolina did not win that game. Michigan was the winner, as expected. Okay, 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes of Miami now. 6:25 left to go in the first quarter. No score. And the ball's on the 20-yard line. Kelly at quarterback. Long snap count. He gives it to Smokey Roan, and guess who was there to bring him down? Paul Porowski. He got him by one arm and said, Mr. Roan, you're not going any further. 1-yard gain.
Paul Porowski from Sarasota, Florida, the leading tackler on the team. Let's see him in action here as Smokey Roan puts that speed to use, but he runs right into the arms of Porowski, who just turned around and grabbed him with one arm.
That's amazing strength, I'll tell you. Jimmy Gilbert is on that defensive line. So is Ron Simmons. So both of them are in there. Simmons is lining up as the nose guard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Kelly straight back to throw from the pro set offense. Over the middle, complete to Joyner. Joyner is loose at the 35 and dragged down finally by James Harris up at the 37, but Joyner gets the first down for Miami.
All right, Jim Joyner had 6 receptions coming into this game and for 175 yards. And let's watch him here, number 13, as Kelly hits him on the slant pattern. He's right behind the defensive end who was dropping off that time. And you see Reggie Herring making the tackle. I'm sorry, James Harris making the tackle.
1st and 10 for the Hurricanes of Miami. They're up at their own 33 and make that 37-yard line. Joyner and Pat Walker, the split ends, and Joyner goes in motion. Simmons again is almost drawn off, but he gets back again. Smokey Roan is dragged down by Porowski for no gain. Maybe he lost a half yard. You know, that's 3 times now, Jim, that Simmons has been almost drawn offside, but not quite.
I wonder if that's by design or if he's just so anxious. I tell you, that he did not like that sitting out 2 weeks. It just, Ron is a type of guy that does not like to admit any kind of a weakness. And to him, an injury that keeps you out of the game is some kind of a weakness.
2nd down and 10 for the Hurricanes. They call it no gain. Ball is right at the 37-yard line. Walker and Joyner still the split ends. Kelly at quarterback. Kelly fakes to the up back. Fakes a flat pass and gets it out to Hobbs. And Hobbs is dragged down after about a 5-yard gain by Paul Porowski. That time, the quarterback, Kelly, faked to the running back, faked the pass out in the flat, and hit Hobbs out of the backfield for 5 yards.
We'll have another look at it. Godby High's Chris Hobbs on the reception. Miami mixing it up real well on offense today. And Kelly fakes it to the right and pitches it out there to Hobbs, and a nice gainer.
So 5-yard gain for Miami. They call it 4. Actually, they place it at the 41. 3rd down and 6. Kelly straight back to throw again. Here come the Seminoles. Kelly's got to get rid of it. Complete to Hobbs, and he's got the first down. We have a fumble, and Florida State has the football. It's FSU football. Yes, it is. Jimmy Gilbert, the man on the football.
Jim Gilbert, a big play man. And you see on the replay, the hit there by Porowski is what knocked it out of his hands. He grabbed him by the arms, and before Hobbs hit the ground, the ball hit the ground, and Howard Schnellenberger does not like it.
Well, he doesn't like it, but the truth is that Hobbs did have control, and that's the key thing. He had the football, was hit, fumbled it. First and 10 for the Seminoles at the Miami 48. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. 3:49 left in the quarter, no score. Here's the pitch out to Sam Platt. Platt a busy man today, and Sam is brought down after a pickup of around 7, down to the 43. Marion in there on the tackle. Sam Platt being used almost exclusively on the ground.
Well, that's the way they did it last week, and it worked, and they're going to keep on trying to establish a running attack. As you see Platt getting outside, he's looking to cut it upfield, but he just runs out of running room.
Freddie Marion, the safety, comes up to make the tackle. He's made a lot of them, and the general thought is that when your safeties have to come up and make a lot of tackles, you're in trouble. They give Sam a gain of only 5 on that play. Thought he got more of it. Okay, 2nd and 5. Williams in motion. Pitch back to Platt again. Again, they run the left side. And Platt is brought down by a host of Hurricanes. Swain was over there. Also over there for Miami, Scott Nicholas, big number 66. And Sam gains maybe 1 yard.
We might point out that John Madden has not made an appearance at center. Retus Coggins, who had not played center until this week, worked out some at center, is doing the snapping, and he's doing a fairly good job, I would say, on a real tough man, number 83, Jim Burt. You might want to watch that matchup in the middle. Burt is a strong man who has given a lot of teams fits.
Zeke Mowat brought in a play from Bobby Bowden. He's in there at tight end. It's 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Bill Williams in motion. Stockstill back to throw. Got the time. Now he's rushed, and down he goes. Stockstill brought down for a loss. They mark it back at midfield.
I believe that was Tim Flanagan.
Flanagan getting in
let's
there.
watch it. Let's watch this on the replay. As Stockstill looks like he's got great time, but Flanagan just breaks away and puts him down. And Tim Flanagan is a 6'3", 225-pound junior from Virginia.
So a big play by the Hurricane defense, and Ron Stark will be back to punt again. Marion, number 31, back in single safety at his 10. Of course, Ron has just had a great year punting the ball. Here's the pressure. He's under pressure, and he goes down, but no roughing the kicker call. No roughing the kicker. The ball, meanwhile, hits at the 10. Inside the 10, it will be down at the 7-yard line. So Ron Stark does the job again, and the Seminoles down it at the 7-yard line.
The kicking game has been exceptional for FSU this year, Tom. And Ron had averaged 45.2 yards a kick, and he put that one down inside the 10 where they could back the Hurricanes up and just hope that the defense can force them into a mistake down here.
And knocking that kick down and downing it for the Florida State Seminoles, we believe was Larry Harris. Got in there and down that one. So Miami, they actually mark it at the 8 now. 1st down and 10 for Miami at their own 8-yard line. We have 1:41 left to go in the first quarter. No score from the Orange Bowl. Again, Florida State almost offsides, and I believe they are this time, either that or illegal procedure. But Miami goes through with the play as Smokey Roan rambles up to the 12-yard line. That would be a gain of about 4. Let's get the indication from the official. It is offside, Florida State. So the play gained 4 yards. The penalty would be 5 yards and would still be 1st down.
Okay, let's take a look at what they're going to do here on the walk-off, as Kelly was talking with the official. So that gives them a lot of options, and they don't seem to have any qualms about throwing in their own territory, Tom.
None whatsoever. Well, the penalty is accepted. It becomes 1st and 5 for the Hurricanes at the 14-yard line. But Miami can ill afford a mistake like they made up near midfield when Hobbs fumbled after catching a pass. You don't want to make mistakes in your own territory. Here's a pitch out to Smokey Roan. I think there's a busted play, and Roan is creamed at the 12-yard line. Getting in there, Arthur Scott. He was in there. Ron Simmons was in the vicinity.
Well, on the replay, we'll see what caused this loss, as
somebody zigged when they should have
somebody was not there to be handed off to. And the quarterback definitely wasn't going to keep it. He said, hey, stop, Smokey. Here's the ball.
Let me apologize. I mixed up Jimmy Gilbert and Ron Simmons. Gilbert was in assisting on that tackle. 2nd down and 7 yards to go for Miami. And the ball is marked on the 12. Here's the pitch out to Smokey Roan. Roan over the 10. He is hit hard by Reggie Herring, and he brings him down in company with Jimmy Gilbert. After a yard gain, it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Well, it's interesting that they do have Gilbert and Simmons both in there, because Gilbert is playing in Mark Motzik's place, and Mark has been a very outstanding tackle for FSU and a big play man, and he's always had big games against Miami. But Simmons and Gilbert, how can you go against that strategy?
It's tough. I wouldn't tell him. Okay, 3rd down and 6. Big play here for the Miami Hurricanes as we're inside 25 seconds now to go in the first quarter. And the give is to Roan. Roan cannot elude the tackle of Arthur Scott. Arthur Scott, the senior out of Tampa, 6'2", 240, brought him down. And that may be the last play of the first quarter. We take a look at it.
We're taking a look at the replay as Smokey Roan cannot get outside of Arthur Scott, who's in there. And he makes a nice grab and hangs on.
And that's the end of the first quarter of play from the Orange Bowl in Miami. It's the Florida State Seminoles nothing, the Miami Hurricanes nothing. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Orange Bowl, everyone. I'm Tom Mees with Jim Crosby. We're set to start the second quarter of action. No score between Florida State and Miami. Miami has the ball, and they're going to have to punt, of course. 4th down and 5. The ball's on the Miami 13-yard line, and back to punt for the Hurricanes, Greg LaBelle. Gary Henry back in single safety for Florida State. Low snap. Here come the Seminoles. The pressure's on, but LaBelle gets off a beauty. Oh, look at this. Henry back at his 20-yard line. Henry at the 25. Gary Henry, a good return up to the 33-yard line. That was excellent return because Gary had no blocking.
That was a 61-yard punt here as LaBelle, who has averaged 43.2 coming into this game, and we'll watch Gary Henry take it in at the 20-yard line. The ball was kicked from the 9, so he really got a foot into it. And I got a surprise here. 3rd quarter, Stanford 31, Oklahoma nothing.
Unbelievable. That game is in Norman, Oklahoma. All right, 1st and 10 for the Seminoles. The ball is marked in the 32. About a 12-yard return for Henry. Here's the pitch out to Platt. What else? Platt on the ground for a gain of about 1. I tell you, the Seminoles are determined to establish this running game today. And that time for Miami, just as determined to shut it down was nose guard Jimmy Bird. He's a good one out of Orchard Park, New York.
He sure is. He's a tough one, and there was a lot of press that was comparing him to Ron Simmons this week. Ron, the gentle giant, and Jim, the intense street fighter, who always used to fight with his brother a lot, and they grew up, started playing football at the age of 6.
Harness Johnson, Phil Williams, double flankers to the bottom of your screen on 2nd and 10. They call that no gain. Here goes Stockstill rolling right. Going to throw, intended for Johnson over his head. And I think that Stockstill may have thrown that one away. It was a good play by Rick because Miami had that one covered in the person of Ron Lippett. He was right there. Good play by that man, Rick Stockstill.
That's right, and a lot of people don't know this. As a matter of fact, I just found it out before the game, Tom, but Rick Stockstill injured his shoulder during practice this week, and I think they've kept it pretty much a secret. And it was his passing shoulder, but he was throwing all right yesterday, so they thought he was okay. But he did not throw like Rick Stockstill has been throwing.
Well, let's see. It's a passing situation now. Dennis McKinnon has come in with a play off the bench, 3rd and 10. Stockstill back to throw, got the time, going long, and he's looking for McKinnon. It's up in the air, intercepted by Marion and dropped. They're going to call it incomplete. Fred Marion had that ball, but McKinnon did a good job making the tackle, and he jarred the ball loose, so it's just an incomplete pass.
All right, let's watch this long pass, and let's watch how Stockstill throws it. See if he is throwing loose and easy. It's a high lofted one, and Fred Marion out of Gainesville, Florida, who they call the brains of this defense, could not hold on to it.
Well, I'll tell you, that was an easy ball to intercept. I did not like the flight on that ball at all, to be very frank with you. Ron Stark in there to punt, and back deep for the Hurricanes, David Jefferson, along with Lawrence Thompson. Thompson under the punt at the 23-yard line. He'll run it back. Thompson around the right end has got some room, but is brought down at the 35-yard line by a host of Seminoles on that special team. In the area, Ken Burnett, reserve running back. Also in the general area for Florida State, Jarvis Coursey. So Miami's got one of their best field starts of the day. Field position at their own 35-yard line, and Mike Rodrigue comes in now to take the snap from center, at least on the first down. Rodrigue from Tallahassee. Of course, you all know the story. There's a Rodrigue on each team here today, and their papa is a hotel entrepreneur in Tallahassee.
That's right. Ted Rodrigue was a quarterback at FSU, too.
13:28 left to go in the first half. No score. Rodrigue at quarterback. And in motion goes Larry Brodsky. Rodriguez back to throw. Pressured. Has to get rid of it. Dumps it out there. We could have penalty flags on this one, but no. I've seen intentional grounding called on that kind of play before, but they say Rodriguez had a receiver in the area. It'll be 2nd and 10.
All right, let's watch Mike Rodriguez in action. Mark is on FSU. They sent Mike in last week against Houston. In fact, they substituted the whole second unit. As you see, Porowski putting good pressure on him. And they substituted the whole second unit. They took it right down the field. It was nothing, and they scored to make it 7-0 Miami at that point. 2nd down and 10 for Miami. Rodriguez still in there at quarterback.
Ball at the 35-yard line. And the give is to the up back in the I formation, Speedy Neal. Boy, they've got Smokey Roan and Speedy Neal. PR man's delight. Neal, a good pickup up over the 40-yard line, or they say now right at the 40-yard line.
Speedy Neal, who I've seen some releases that say he weighs 251 pounds. That is big for a college fullback, and you see him breaking the tackle at the front of the line and going on forward for about a 4 or 5 yard pickup.
So Neal picks up 5 on the play, be 3rd down and 5. Joyner is split along with Pat Walker, and the backs are now in the pro set behind quarterback Rodriguez. Rodriguez back to throw, looking over the middle for a receiver and almost intercepted by Reggie Herring. He was looking for Mark Rush over the middle, and Herring was in perfect shape to intercept that, but he dropped it.
Okay, Rodriguez takes a short drop, and he looks over the middle. I think it might have been touched a little bit in the backfield. I'm not sure from that, but Herring, if he'd have gotten 2 hands on it, maybe he could have taken it down the field.
Back to punt for Miami is Greg LaBelle, and Gary Henry again in single safety at the FSU 10-yard line. No score in this football game. 2 defenses showing why they are 2 of the best in the country so far today. LaBelle, a high spiral again, not quite as far as his last punt. In fact, not nearly as far. They're going to let it bounce, and it takes, it takes about a neutral roll. It's down at the 27-yard line. We'll return to the Orange Bowl in Miami after these messages with the score. Florida State nothing and Miami nothing. There is one of the reasons why it's always nice to be in Miami, Florida. Not the score, but that lovely young lady right there.
Boy, it's hot out in those stands today, I bet, Tom. That sun is
she's plenty cool in that get-up. 1st and 10 for the Seminoles. The give is to Mike Whiting, his first carry of the day, and he'll get almost nowhere. Met by a host of Hurricanes, including wide linebacker, or rather weak side linebacker, Scott Nicholas.
Okay, a second look at it from the end zone view. You see he takes 1 step and then goes back to his left on a little counter play, and it was just gummed up at the line there. No opportunity to do anything.
No gain either. 2nd down and 10. Williams and Hardis Johnson split. Johnson to the top of your screen, Williams to the bottom. A throwing situation for Stockstill. Williams now goes in motion. Stockstill looking for Whiting out of the backfield. Michael Whiting fumbles the football. Who's got it? It looks like Miami. Let's see. It is the Hurricanes. Whiting had a good gain, and near the 1st down marker at the 37, he fumbles. And coming up with a football, either Lester Williams or John Swain. Let's see.
All right, here's how it happened. Stockstill dumps it off to Whiting. He has a block out there, a nice block. And as he cuts back, a vicious hit there. And I didn't see, let's see, number 41.
Number 2 got it, Swain.
Tackle there. John Swain was the one who recovered it, but number 41, Danny Brown, was the guy who made the hit that jarred it loose.
So big break for the Hurricanes in Seminole territory. 1st and 10 at the 37, and Miami goes to work with Jim Kelly back in there at quarterback. Kelly, the pitch out, and now we have a reverse to Joyner. Joyner, though, is brought down after a gain of maybe a yard. Did a lot of running, most of it laterally, and coming up to make a pretty good hit for the Seminoles was Reggie Herring.
And James Harris. James Harris made this play. Now, James Harris is filling in the spot that Ivory Joe Hunter vacated when he graduated. And watch him stay at home on this corner, not be fooled by it, stay right there. And he's the guy that made him slow down and get hit there.
Yeah, James Harris really made the play. They say gain of 1 on the play for Joyner on the reverse. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Howard Schnellenberger, Miami coach, said he's going to pull out all the stops. This is the biggest game he's had in his 2-year career here at Miami. Over the middle, we're going to have pass interference. Yes, we are. The pass intended for Smokey Roan and some obvious interference by Reggie Herring.
Reggie Herring was going for the ball, but he did hit him, and he did cause that to not be a completion, as we'll see. And Futch trying to put on pressure. And it's going to be a first down for the Hurricanes, and this Seminole defense is really going to be put to the test here now, Tom.
You really couldn't see the interference clearly from that angle, but on the side angle, Herring, yes, it was a good play. He was going for the ball, but he arrived there before the ball, and that's a no-no. So it's 1st and 10 for Miami at the FSU 31. 11 minutes even left in the first half. No score if you're just tuning in. What a defensive battle this has been so far. Florida State recovered a Miami fumble in Miami territory. Could not do anything with it. Let's see what the Hurricanes do. Here's the pitch out going to Mark Rush. It's a good name for a running back. Rush inside the 30, knocked out at the 29.
Mark Rush from Fort Lauderdale played at Stranahan High up there.
Paul Porowski made the tackle. Rush gained about, well, he got down to the 29, so give him a gain around 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go.
Seminoles are a little bit off balance on defense here. They don't know exactly what to expect.
Miami needs to get inside the Seminole 21-yard line for 1st down. 2nd down 9. Kelly, a long count. Kelly being rushed. Kelly keeps it. And he goes down, I think, more of his own volition because he did not want to be creamed by Monk Bonasort. And he goes down at the 25-yard line.
Okay, taking a look at Jim Kelly in action here. That's James Gilbert in the middle, number 51, trying to put the rush on him. A good block on Gilbert and a good block on Porowski. And as Bonasort gets to the right spot, Kelly was already down.
So that'll make it 3rd down and 5, and a very big play for the Miami Hurricanes. They have the ball at the Seminole, well, just outside the 25-yard line. 3rd and 5. Now here's Rodriguez at quarterback. Back to throw, looking to the sideline, complete. It is complete to Rush for the 1st down at the 15-yard line. And Mark Rush did a beautiful job getting his foot inbound.
Okay, Mark Rush, Stranahan High Dragon, who has come home here to Miami to play, and Rodriguez rifled it out there and hit him just before he went out of bounds. And Arthur Scott, the defensive end, had dropped off over there, but not deep enough.
Scott McLean coming in now for Gary Futch for FSU as the Hurricanes threaten. They're the first one to really threaten to score a touchdown. 1st and 10 at the FSU 15-yard line. Rodriguez still in there at quarterback. Rodriguez, and a fumble in the backfield. Who's got it? It's still loose. Florida State recovers. All right, Arthur Scott got the fumble.
I think that's Corsi, Jarvis Corsi. All right, we're going to see it closer. Scott, sometimes it's hard to see up here whether that's 54 or 64. And here we go, a handoff.
Greg Anderson.
Yeah, Greg Anderson, right.
Greg Anderson made the fumble. We'll return to the Orange Bowl of Miami after these messages with the score. Florida State nothing, Miami nothing. Back at the Orange Bowl of Miami, I'm Tom Mees with Jim Crosby. And the fumble that time by Anderson was recovered by, I believe it was McLean. He made the recovery. 1st and 10 now for the Seminoles. The ball on their own 22. So Florida State gets a break, stopping a Miami drive. However, on 1st down, Florida State still cannot penetrate via the Overland route, that tough defensive line of Miami. You just ask Sam Platt about that. I'm sorry, not Sam Platt. That was Ken Burnett who's in the ball game now. Burnett was stopped for, well, maybe a yard gain.
Florida Gators won a tough one today over Mississippi State, 21-15 down in Gainesville, Tom.
Yeah, those Gators, well, you talk about rags to riches. Did not win a game last year, had 1 tie, and now they are, what, 4-0?
3-0.
3-0. Let's not give them too much credit. All right, 2nd down and 9. Burnett still in there. He's the up back in the I formation, but Stockstill straight back to throw, and it is almost intercepted. Batted down by Scott Nicholas, intended for Hardis Johnson. Let's take a look and see at the batted down pass, which makes it now 3rd down and 9.
Okay, these two teams are playing loose and easy with the ball here down in FSU's territory, and let's see if we can take a look at that again. Stockstill winds up. He looks like he threw it pretty well then. He just didn't throw it high enough, so maybe his shoulder is okay. If your shoulder is ever going to loosen up, it'll do it on a day like this.
I'm just going to say that. You can't get loose in this heat. You're in, you belong somewhere else. All right, 3rd down and 9. Stockstill straight back to throw. Got all the time in the world. Going to go for Burnett out of the backfield. He's got it. Burnett up near the 30-yard line. He gets to the 30, but he's short of the 1st down. And the Seminoles are going to have to punt once more.
Of course, you know, hindsight's always better than foresight, I guess, or more accurate. But I think if Burnett had gone outside, watch him as it's dumped off to him, that he might could have gotten some yardage. They had a blocker out there, but he cut back and he was hit and knocked down there by Jim Burt, following him down the line.
Lawrence Thompson is back in company with Fred Marion in double safety for the Hurricanes to receive Ron Stark's punt. He should get it off from about his 20, standing at his 15. Snap is a good one. No pressure really to speak of. A high spiral. Great punt by Stark. Thompson back at his own 19. Here we go. Thompson with a return, and he's brought down at his own 33-yard line. A 51-yard punt by Ron Stark, and making the tackle for the Seminoles was Ronnie Hester. It'll be 1st and 10 for Miami at their own 27-yard line.
Coach Bowden was surprised that nobody has really come after the Seminole punter in the first 3 games. Nobody's really tried to block a punt. And Miami probably noticed that from the film, and they did try to block the one before this. That one they tried to set up a return.
Jim Kelly is in there as Howard Schnellenberger using that 2-quarterback system today. Matter of fact, he'll substitute a whole unit for another one. All right, Kelly back to throw. Can't find anybody open, and Kelly is going to be brought down at the 28-yard line. Oh, he was creamed in there. Paul Porowski's on top of him, along with Arthur Scott.
Okay, let's take a look at it. Jarvis Coursey also stayed home and turned him back in here when he started to scramble, and actually slowed him down a little. That's Arthur Scott. I've got the 54 and 64 mixed up. He slowed him down long enough for Simmons to hit him.
Larry Brodsky, he split out high to the top of your screen there. I should say wide to the top of your screen. Be 2nd down and 8. Gave Kelly a gain of 2 on the play. Kelly rolling right. Got time. Pumps once. Kelly throws for Brodsky. It is complete. Brodsky at the Seminole 45-yard line. He's down at the 43. I tell you, Kelly got that ball away just in time before he crossed the line of scrimmage.
And it looked to me like he held on to it long enough that the 2 defensive backs ran into each other back there.
That's what appeared to happen.
Butler and Keith Jones, Bobby Butler and Keith Jones were there. And it looked like we'll have a little bit of this play back here, the end of it. And watch, there's Butler in position. Keith Jones comes over, knocks him out of the way, and Brodsky grabs the ball.
Break that time for Miami. Seminoles had that play covered well. But it's a 1st down for the Hurricanes on the FSU 44-yard line. 7:26 to go in the first half. No score. Flags all over the place. The pitch out goes to Mark Rush, and Rush hurdles tacklers down to the 1st down marker at the 33. But hold it. Let's see what the penalty is going to be.
You know, Tom, I think any advantage FSU might have had coming in here with their number 9 ranking in the nation, 11-0 last year, having beaten the Hurricanes 2 in a row, is gone by the boards now. The Hurricanes are playing with them and playing with them well right now, and it's going to be a dogfight right down to the end. And that was a quote from Rick Stockstill. He said coming into this game it was going to be a dogfight.
All right, let's see what Jim Kelly, the quarterback, does. The penalty is offside Seminoles. They'll take the gain, refuse the penalty. They're just short of a 1st down. The ball marked at the 35-yard line of Florida State, so it'll be 2nd down. And what do we have? About 1.5 yards to go for a 1st down. 2nd down. So they'll take the gain, and they will not take the penalty. Kelly in there at quarterback. Miami threatening again. They've had the better of the field position today. Kelly on the quick snap, quarterback sneak. We've got penalty flags. Kelly does go forward for the 1st down, but let's hold it again as we have timeout and see what the penalty is. Miami has really stopped themselves a couple of times with a couple of holding penalties. This time it's offsides the other way, and you know that the Seminoles are going to accept this one.
Boy, it couldn't come at a better time, because the Hurricanes are just moving the ball right on down the field. Seminoles still digging in and playing it tough, but they've played the whole game in their own territory.
So instead of 2nd and 2, it'll be 2nd down and 7. The ball moved back to the 40-yard line. Don't forget, be with us next Saturday afternoon. Jim and I will be at Lincoln, Nebraska, as the Seminoles take on the Cornhuskers. I've had something like 110 straight sellouts in Lincoln, and it'll be 111 when the Seminoles rolled into town. They're looking forward to that game out there, as I'm sure the folks in Tallahassee are also. 2nd and 7. Backs in the I formation for quarterback Kelly. Kelly keeps, and he will be stopped for no gain. Ronnie Simmons got him by the waist. And when Simmons gets you, you usually end up on the turf.
Let's watch Big Ron in action, the subject of the latest song, Big Bad Ron. As he fights his way in the middle, he sees him try to cut back, and Kelly says, oops.
Not this
if
time.
I'd have known you were there, I wouldn't have cut back.
No gain on the play. Maybe a loss of a half a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 7. They mark it just on the other side of the 40. Passing down. I tell you, these two teams are living up to their defensive reputation. Nothing. 6 minutes now left in the first half. Here's the pitch out to Rodriguez, who wants to throw. Now he thinks better of it, pitches out to a lineman who's going to be brought down for no gain. Rodriguez wanted to throw to Joyner, and all of a sudden he had somebody around his waist. Says, wait a minute, I don't like this at all. So he pitched out to John Canay, a left tackle. Let's see it.
And John was not about to do anything but run with it. He said, here's my opportunity to be a star. Rodriguez must have thought he had a back there.
Arthur Scott was on Rodriguez's waist. Look at this. All right, a bit of levity in a serious situation. LaBelle is in the punt again for Miami. They'll try and pin the Seminoles deep. Gary Henry standing on his 10, but if LaBelle hits this one like the rest of them, it ought to go in the end zone. He'll be angling it. There he goes. Let's see where it goes out of bounds. It is into the end zone and out. It's a touchback. And with 5 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the first half, the score, Florida State nothing, Miami nothing. Tom Mees with Jim Crosby back to the Orange Bowl. We're set to go. 5:10 left to go in the first half. No scores yet. We got another corrected score. I'll tell you, they're going crazy up here in the press box. South Carolina and Michigan. South Carolina did win that game, 17-14. Oklahoma was a winner. There's a loser. Nebraska was a winner. Seminoles first and 10. And Stockstill, the pitch out, and the pitch out that time to Ricky Williams, and Williams picks up about a yard. This is the time the Seminoles got to get a drive started.
All right, Ricky Williams, who had been shifted to defensive back, is now getting his opportunity back at tailback, and he's making the most of it. He had a couple of nice games last week, and he cuts back, and unfortunately, Ken Lanier was pushed into him by Lester Williams. Big Lester on the line, doing his job.
All right, double flanker right for Florida State. Nothing to score, but a great ball game. Over 65,000 here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The pitch out to Williams again. Williams, good yardage, and Williams for the first down. Williams out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Marion drags him out of bounds. He stops the clock. Good run for Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams from Griffin, Georgia, has great speed, and they are certainly hoping to get him one-on-one outside. As you see him cut back, made a nice move there, but Fred Marion came out and closed it off.
All right, Nebraska was the winner today, Jim, over Penn State. What was that final score?
That was 21-7, and the opponent the week after for FSU, Pittsburgh, beat Temple 36-2.
That's not a big surprise. Backs in the I formation, Burnett and Williams. Behind the quarterback, Stockstill to give us to Burnett. The up back in the I. He gains about a yard. Lester Williams brings him down. This Lester Williams is a good one. 6'3", 265 out of Miami. There's the view the players have from the field.
Kenny Burnett, they were hoping to redshirt, but he's just played so well that he's moved himself up to second-string fullback, and they haven't been able to get him out of there, and he won't be redshirted now. He scored 2 touchdowns last week.
Artis Johnson and Phil Williams, wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. As you look at it right now, Stockstill calls it 2nd down and 8. They gave Burnett a gain of 2 on that last play. Pitch out to Williams. They run the left end again, and Williams spins away from the tackle of Marion, but eventually he rolls out of bounds after a gain of a couple. Let's see where they're going to mark it.
All right, we'll have another look at it, Tom. If you see the tight end or the split end in motion there, Phil Williams, and they're going to run that way, and he flips it out to Williams. Good block out there by Burnett. Well, maybe not that good, but he slowed the man down. And Fred Marion, once again, who's playing a whale of a game in that secondary, came up and made the tackle. 3rd down and 6. Passing situation for Florida State. Double flankers out to the right. Unglaub in the game. And now Williams goes in motion. Stockstill with the pitch out to Ricky Williams. Up the middle, and he's brought down at the 36-yard line. Good tackle that time by big number 91 for the Hurricanes, and that would be Bobby Nelson, junior out of Baltimore, Maryland. All right, let's watch this great defensive play. Ricky Williams, Lester Williams hits him, but there's the man that made the tackle, Flanagan. It'll be 4th down for the Seminoles, as again Florida State is stymied by this tough Miami defense. Ron Stark in the punt. And back for the Hurricanes, Lawrence Thompson in company with David Jefferson this time. Here's the punt by Stark. It's a great one, a high spiraling punt. Thompson back at his own 14-yard line. Leonard Thompson will try and cut back, but he will be brought down up at the 24-yard line. And with 2:28 remaining in the second quarter, the score, Florida State nothing, Miami nothing. That's where we are, the Orange Bowl in Miami. I'm Tom Mees with Jim Crosby. And Jim, we've had a no score in this game, but a very exciting one nonetheless, as these two defenses going at it hammer and tong. 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes at their own 24-yard line. Kelly gives the ball off to Mark Rush, and Rush for good yardage, and the first down up at the
Miami, 36-yard line. Mark Rush just took off up the middle on a trap play.
This Mark Rush is running real well. And let's watch him from the tailback position. As you see Hobbs moving out in front of him and making a nice block on Arthur Scott, which freed him. He breaks the tackle from Herring, and that's doing something in itself. And right there, Keith Jones brought him down.
First and 10 for the Miami Hurricanes. Mark Rush out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, not too far away from Miami. And here's the give to Hobbs out of the backfield. Hobbs breaks a couple of tackles, and he is near first down territory. Up at the 46-yard line. Gain of about 9 yards for Chris Hobbs.
Boy, they're moving that Seminole defensive line out now. As you'll see, watch the line plays. See, they're standing up Modzik and just carrying him in the direction that he was already moving. They pushed Gilbert out of the way, and Hobbs just can't get by amongst Bonasort there.
So it's second down and about a quarter of a yard to go for Miami. Jim Kelly, the quarterback, really has it down to play with in this situation. And Kelly is straight back to throw. Got the time. Looking deep down the right sideline for Joyner. He's open, and it is incomplete. Incomplete. The Miami fans want pass interference on Bonasort. They won't get it, but they might have a point.
All right, let's see. Bonasort was there. Butler was also coming over. They may be thinking about Butler. Let's see. Kelly is back to pass, you see, and let's watch it as we have the slowed down version here. And I don't know if we'll be able to see it here. Let's look closely, and you see Butler over there. They did have body contact.
So Butler had some contact, but no interference. It'll be third down at about a quarter of a yard, and this time everybody's in tight for the Hurricanes. Kelly, the quarterback. He and Rodrigue have been alternating most of the day. And the give is to Rush. He's got the first down over midfield of the 49-yard line.
They're getting a big hole on that right side there. In fact, they're getting big holes all over.
You're looking at Seminole football, 1980 on WECA television. Tallahassee's 27. A minute 15 left to go in the first half, and University of Miami has called a timeout. And Jim, time to remind the folks that the Seminole band is down here, of course, and they'll be putting on a fine halftime show. I understand they really had the crowd in the palm of their hands last Saturday night at Doak Campbell Stadium as we look at Howard Schnellenberger and his crew.
Boy, we'll be repeating that show. They will, and we'll have that on at halftime. The same show they had the other night, a shortened version. We'll also have an interview with Mike Martin, the baseball coach of the year in the college ranks.
Oh, he did such a great job taking the Seminoles to the College World Series. All right, they didn't win it, but only one of the 8 teams that goes there does. And next year, things are looking awfully well indeed. I saw Mike Martin today, said he had a great recruiting year.
While we're tossing out reminders, I'd like to remind everybody who's listening in back in the Tallahassee area to watch Action News at 5:30 and 11 o'clock during the week with Marianne Laughlin and Jerry Brown doing a great job of co-anchoring, and Beth Campbell on the weather. And we have a little sports on there, too.
Quite a lot of sports from what I understand. Okay, the Hurricanes have it. First down, 10 yards to go at midfield after that nice rush by Rush. Something that doesn't sound right. Florida State might be offside on this play. Kelly throws it intended for Joyner. He got knocked for a loop by Ron Simmons. But the flags on the play may indicate either illegal procedure against Miami or offsides against Florida State.
Mark Modzik jumped off sides. I don't know if he was drawn off or if he just had encroachment. He was drawn off.
He certainly was. That's the call. And it goes against the Hurricanes. And how many times has Miami hurt itself with penalties today? The clock stopped with 1:10 left to go in the half. Florida State has all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Miami has 2. They just used one of them, so they have 2 remaining. Seminoles take the penalty, and the ball is marked back at the 45-yard line. It'll be first and 15. No score in this ball game. Florida State came in favored by about 5 points, 5 or 5.5, and now the official places the ball on the other side of the 45-yard line. There he is, Mr. Kelly, Jim Kelly, 6'3", 205, a sophomore for the University of Miami at quarterback. Straight back to throw. Looking to the sidelines now to Rush. He gathers it in. Rush fumbles the football. What happens? Did it go out of bounds? I believe it did, yes. Rush fumbled it, but he fumbled it out of bounds. And Miami will have it at their own 48, gain of 3.
Here's the replay. For some reason, Pat Walker took about 3 players down the sideline with him and just cleared out that area and left Rush all by himself. And you see James Harris coming up and making the tackle.
There's the
he
fumble.
Fumbles it out of bounds.
Good break for Miami. Second down and 12 for the Hurricanes. Gain 3 on the fumble play. Kelly Giving it to Rush, and Rush is brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe they'll give him 2 yards up to the 50-yard line. Jimmy Gilbert, one of the men in there, along with Reggie Herring. Gilbert and Simmons are both in there. We have another timeout now called for by Miami coach Howard Schnellenberger. 52 seconds left to go in the first half, and there is no score. Well, next Saturday on Tallahassee's 27, Florida State football returns. Jim and I will be at Lincoln, Nebraska to bring you the Seminoles against Nebraska. The Cornhuskers, we know, will be coming into that game undefeated. They have defeated Penn State on the road. Of course, last week they mauled Iowa 57-0. And Nebraska is, well, they're always in the top 5, let alone the top 10 in the country.
It's going to be exciting, but I'm sure there's not a thought in anybody's head about that one right now on the Seminole
Not on the
side.
field anyway, no.
They're really in a fight here. And I tell you, the Seminoles have not established anything on offense. They have not gotten any kind of a running attack or passing attack going against this tough Miami defense.
Very candidly, Miami's defense, as well as Florida State's, has lived up to its reputation. But Miami, I'm sure, will have the statistical edge as far as moving the ball in this first half.
And controlling the ball. I wonder minutes-wise how many minutes they've had to FSU. You see a plane flying over. We're
right near Miami International Airport. Right now, let's get back to action. 3rd down and 10 for the Hurricanes right at midfield. 52 seconds left. Miami has just used its second timeout. No score in the game. Kelly back to throw. Got the time. He may keep it. No, he's going to throw long for Joyner, and Joyner can't get it. It's over his head. Let's correct that. Larry Brodsky, the intended receiver.
I tell you what, that's going to be a questionable call. That's for Larry Brodsky. Gary Henry fell down and hit his legs, but the ball looked to me like it had passed and was already almost in the stands there. Now watch. Let's see if we can see on the replay. There's a flag upfield also. See, the ball had passed when he hit him, it looked like.
Yes, it did. That's a questionable pass interference call, but we have another flag upfield near the line of scrimmage. Pass interference, Florida State. They're going to call it first down. So a questionable pass interference call against the Seminoles. It appeared that ball was way over the receiver's head, and he had no chance to catch it. It was Brodsky and not Joyner.
44 seconds left in the half, too, Tom, and they're going to get the ball on the 1-yard line.
First and goal for the Hurricanes of Miami on the FSU 1, and this crowd at the Orange Bowl is in an uproar.
They've not had a touchdown scored against the Seminole defense. That one touchdown was scored on the special teams, so they're going to really have to have their backs to the wall here.
Ron Simmons, Jimmy Gilbert digging in there along with Jarvis Corsi and Arthur Scott. They're going to have to stop the Hurricanes now. Kelly, the quarterback. Everybody in tight except Joyner. He's in motion. Now he sets tight. First and goal for Miami. Kelly, the keeper. He does not. Yes, he does. Touchdown. Touchdown, Miami. The Seminoles say no, but the official says yes. Keith Jones and Bobby Butler are complaining, but the official rules that Kelly snuck the ball in for the touchdown.
Boy, these fans are alive now. Howard Schnellenberger, you see on the sideline. Jim Kelly sneaking it in from 1 yard out with just 41 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Seminoles are behind for the first time this season.
In to attempt the extra point will be Greg LaBelle. Greg LaBelle in to attempt the extra point. A questionable pass interference call. I'll tell you, we'll try and take a look at that a little bit later on for you again. That really set up the touchdown. A high snap, but it's down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 41 seconds left to go in the first half, the slightly underdog Miami Hurricanes have taken a 7-0 lead over the Florida State Seminoles. And I imagine that the Seminole coaches will be reviewing the films of that pass interference call for a long time to come, Jim.
But right now, I'm sure they're telling the players to put that out of their minds. They got to get back in this ball game, and they got to do it in a hurry. And
well, of course, we have a whole half of football left, and it's only 7-0. But that's true. You don't want to give the underdog at home a chance to stay in the game, because the longer they're in there, the tougher they are to beat.
That's true. And the Seminoles, of course, kicked off, so they should be receiving when they start the second half.
Speaking of kicking off, Dan Miller will be in there to do the honors for Miami. Dennis McKinnon will be stationed at the Florida State goal line. He'll be in single safety. Actually, now he's fading into the end zone. Mike Whiting is also back there along with Harris. All right. A 1-yard run by quarterback Jim Kelly, and the underdog Miami Hurricanes have a 7-0 lead over the Seminoles. Here's the kickoff, and it's an onside kick. And let's see if FSU recovers. It's loose at the 35-yard line. Let's see who's got it. The officials have not yet signaled. A daring move, and Florida State has it. Dan Miller with that squib kick. Actually, I guess that's pretty good strategy with now 38 seconds left in the first half. But the Seminoles have it.
The Seminoles had a lot of receivers and backs up front, and I think they anticipated it, and that was Ernie Sims, a fullback, who touched it to start with, but he didn't grab it solidly, and it was a tense moment there. I'm sure Bobby Bowden's heart was in his throat.
All right, Stockstill's got 38 seconds and 3 timeouts to work with. Seminoles have it on their own 35. Stockstill straight back to throw. Now he gives it to Whiting. Michael Whiting around the left end. He'll want to get out of bounds. He gains about 8 yards and then gets out of bounds, stopping the clock with 30 seconds left. It'll be second down, about 2.
All right, we'll watch Mike Whiting on this little reverse. And there is a Miami player down on the field, too, an injury. Stockstill rolling back, conceals it well, gets it to Whiting. And Coach Bowden likes to run these wide reverses like this. He thinks it keeps the defense on their toes and sometimes softens up the middle. And we can't see who that is down. But I might add this point here. Coach Bowden believes that anytime you get across the 50 that he's got a shot with Bill Capice at getting a field goal.
Well, it's a member of the Miami University Hurricane football team who's down at the 40-yard line. As soon as we get a number, we'll give it to you. There's the arithmetic, 7-0 in favor of the Hurricanes, and even 30 seconds left to go in the first half. You're watching Florida State football on Tallahassee 27. I'm Tom Mees with Jim Crosby. And they mark it at the 42-yard line to the officials, and they call it a 7-yard gain for Michael Whiting. It'll be second down and 3, but that's really irrelevant when you consider the time. The Seminoles don't want to go 3 yards. They want to go, about 57 yards.
What Howard Snellenberger has done with this Miami team has been truly amazing. They've had some real rough years, and Snellenberger came in and he put his cot in the locker room and he just stayed there. He was there day and night plotting strategy. And of course, you know, when Snellenberger coached under Bear Bryant, he was the offensive coach when Joe Namath was there, when Steve Sloan was there, when Kenny Stabler was there. So if anybody knows how to develop an offense, it's Howard Snellenberger. And he has frankly kept the Seminole defense off balance with a wide variety of plays today. Tom, he's thrown long, he's thrown short, he's gone in the middle, he's tried reverses, and he's got good speed, and he's getting good defense, and he's just got a solid football team here.
Well, the injury is to the University of Miami's Danny Brown. Brown, number 41. He is a linebacker, sophomore out of Pensacola, 6'2", 227, and he's being helped off the field. We hope he's all right.
He's also the man who caused the fumble that Whiting fumbled earlier, as you get a look at the crowd there.
The guy with a pirate hat on, he can't be too happy. It looks like Pittsburgh's not going to make it in the National League East, but that's another sport. All right, 30 seconds left to go. The Seminoles have it, second down and 3. At their own 42, Dennis McKinnon, who's always a TD threat, in there at wide receiver. He split to the bottom of the screen. Here goes Stockstill. Fakes to Whiting out of the backfield. Now Rick is going to keep it. Nobody open, and Stockstill gets back within the line of scrimmage. I believe he lost about a yard, and immediately calls timeout with 21 seconds left to go in the half.
All right, we'll have another replay. A second look from the end zone here at Rick Stockstill. He fakes the pass, and then when he turns around, there's nobody open. He wisely didn't throw it because Jim Burt, smart nose guard, had drifted over there. He sniffed out that screen. They were trying to set up a screen to the left side, and Burt refused to be suckered in on that.
Well, the Seminoles called a timeout, and after that play, walking back to the huddle, Rick Stockstill was holding his right shoulder with his left hand. We look over at the sidelines for Florida State, and we don't see any other quarterbacks warming up. Of course, Kelly Lowry would be called upon as Stockstill were injured. Blair Williams would be the second-string quarterback, and Kelly Lowry the third-level quarterback.
And if it gets to the point where they need to put the ball up in the air a lot, you could probably expect Blair Williams to be in there. He's a pretty good passer, but he doesn't have that much experience. He's just a sophomore.
21 seconds left in the half. It's third down and 4. McKinnon and Johnson are the wide receivers, but the give is to Whiting on a draw play. And smelling that one out for the Miami Hurricanes was the nose guard, Jim Burt, number 83.
Let's watch Jim Burt, the old street fighter from the Buffalo area, in action. He gets right past Reedus Coggins' block, and Whiting's a dead duck.
So 16 seconds left. Both teams have but one timeout remaining. And there's no score. Florida State has just called another timeout. And it's 4th down for the record, 6 yards to go. Of course, in college football, the clock will stop at a first down, but I don't think the Seminoles are going to chance anything here. With the ball on the 39-yard line, Miami up 7-0. They won't. Ron Stark comes out of the middle of that huddle. And back in single safety for Miami is Lawrence Thompson. He's standing at his 23-yard line. Stark will get it off from about the 30. A lot of pressure, and they're in on Stark. No flag. No flag. The punt rolls into Miami territory. It's down at the 25. The clock continues to roll. It stops now at 7 seconds left in the first half. I'll tell you, Ron Stark was hit in there, but no flag was dropped.
And the pressure caused him to get off only a 36-yard kick there, Tom, but it's still pretty far back in Miami territory, and I'm sure with 7 seconds left, they'll just play it cozy and happily go into the locker room with a 7-0 lead as the Seminoles will go in and try to regroup and see how they can attack this defense better and hope for better field position in the second half.
That's right. 7-0 is the score, but of course that's a very tenuous lead, and if you get some good field position and a big play, the Seminoles still well within striking distance, of course, with a whole half of football left. Kelly has everybody uptight. He just takes the snap and falls down. And unless Florida State calls a timeout, that will be it. That's the end of the first half of play with the score. The University of Miami 7, the Florida State Seminoles nothing. We'll be back at the Orange Bowl in just a moment. Massachusetts, the Stanford Cardinals were frankly blown out by the Boston College Eagles. Now, Boston College comes into Doak Campbell Stadium, I believe, on the 18th of this month of October, the 18th of October.
For homecoming.
Yeah, and that'll be quite something indeed, so don't take BC very lightly. Okay, the Seminoles will receive to start the second half of play. Dennis McKinnon, as the shadows begin to encroach on the Orange Bowl, is in his own end zone, and the wind will be behind the back of the Hurricane kickoff man, Danny Miller. The wind is picking up quite briskly now, blowing from right to left as you view it on your TV 27 screen. And we're set to go with the second half of football. Let's go get them Seminoles. Miami leads it by a count of 7-0. Miller moves into the ball, and this one's going to go to about the goal line, maybe 5 yards in the end zone. McKinnon going to run it out. Dennis McKinnon to the 10, and he's right down at the 12-yard line. Maybe McKinnon, well, hindsight's always 20/20, but Isaiah West, the big defensive end, makes the tackle, a 6'3", 217-pound sophomore. And Jim, a bad field position again for Rick Stockstill and the Seminoles as they'll take it 1st and 10 and mark it at the 13-yard line.
Well, I'm sure the Seminoles are a little bit frustrated, especially Dennis McKinnon, who's from Miami, and he wanted to do something big there, but I think he even realizes that that was a bad decision right now to bring it out.
Well, he was a bit tentative when he did bring it out, and he who hesitates is lost. All right, Stockstill, the quarterback, the backs in the eye formation. Stockstill straight back to throw, no bones about it. Over the middle, complete to Phil Williams. He's got the first down at the 27-yard line, so Rick Stockstill comes out gunning in the second half.
All right, he hummed it pretty well, so apparently Rick's shoulder is okay, and the Seminoles not playing it cozy, that's for sure. First down, they go on a pass to Phil Williams, and you see Stockstill with great protection. Phil Williams getting an open space in the defense and grabbing it off, and it's a first down.
I'm beginning to find out why they call them the Hurricanes. The wind is blowing a gale in the press box right now.
Sure is.
1st and 10 for Florida State at the 27-yard line. Stockstill again, straight back to throw. He's got loads of time. Could eat a sandwich back there, and the pass is batted back in his face. Batted back by Jim Burt, the big nose guard.
Okay, we've mentioned that name a few times today, Tom. Jim Burt, see him right there in the middle of the line, number 83. He's knocked down. He gets up and comes back and puts a hand up and hits it down. That's why they say go to the ball. When you get knocked down, get up and go after the ball. In practice, they say that all the time. That's the exact reason why there.
I've been very impressed with the play of one Jim Burt. Big 250-pound senior from Orchard Park, New York. 2nd and 10 for Florida State. Stockstill back to throw again. Going for the sidelines, he's got Platt. Sam Platt over the 30. Good move by Platt. He's got the first down. Or no, he doesn't. They called him out of bounds. Platt was called out of bounds about a half yard short of the first down stripe. A big play. They called him out, Jim, at just about the 31.5-yard line. The Seminoles need to get to the 32.
All right, I'm surprised the Seminoles haven't used this play more frequently, because Platt was a receiver. They like to isolate him on linebackers like they did there, and he was knocked out of bounds about a yard short of a first down. You know, one thing, though, the Seminoles haven't shown a lot of different offenses in the previous games. They haven't had to.
Third down and less than a yard to go for Florida State. Here's Stockstill. He may or may not have it. Rick Stockstill, I don't believe, has it.
I don't think he got it either, Tom.
I think he wanted to hand off to Mike Whiting, and it never happened. Now Stockstill signals first down. Hey, the official gives it to him.
Well, it's a good thing that we're not reffing this game.
I'll tell you what, I'll take that call and be thankful for it. They marked the ball up at the 37-yard line, and that's a 1st and 10 for the Seminoles. We want Florida State to win, but from our angle, it looked like Stockstill was stopped short. We'll take it, though. 1st and 10. Miami leading 7-0 on Tallahassee's 27. Stockstill rolls to his right. Now sets up and throws. It is incomplete. Intended at the 47-yard line for Bill Williams, and excellent coverage by the Miami defensive backfield in the person of David Jefferson.
All right, let's watch David Jefferson, who wants to run a clothing store when he gets out of school, or else be an astronaut. Those were his two choices, and he did a good job there.
He was right there. All right, clothing store. That's unusual.
That's quite a variety of choices there. I wonder if he'll settle for anything in between those two.
Interesting. All right, Hardis Johnson and Dennis McKinnon now your wide receivers. Back still in the eye. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Stockstill, I tell you, he's coming out gunning now. Stockstill's going to have to keep the ball. Rick Stockstill over the 40. Stockstill to the 45. A good gain of about 8 yards for Rick. It'll make it 3rd down and 2, and he used his head on that play. Didn't throw it up.
All right, we got a replay on it. One reason he had to hold on to it was they're double covering both wide receivers. There was just nobody open. And what he's going to have to do, as you see Stockstill hit the ground.
Oh, that hurts.
What he's going to have to do is start taking one of those backs out of the backfield and dropping them in the open spot over the middle, because they're double covering both those wide receivers. You're going to have to go to the backs or the tight end, one or the other.
Scott Nicholas made the hit on Stockstill. It is 3rd down and call it a yard to go at the 46-yard line. McKinnon wide to the right. Here's a mix-up on the snap. Stockstill recovers it, but he loses yardage, and Florida State will be forced to punt.
It's a bad time for that to happen.
Certainly is. And the crowd at the Orange Bowl is going bananas. All except about 2 sections full of Florida State fans. They're not too noisy right now.
If there were any Hurricane players or any Hurricane fans that didn't believe they could do it when they came in today, they certainly have lost all doubts. It's an uphill struggle all the way now.
Ron Stark back to punt, and in single safety this time, Fred Marriott. Stark will have plenty of time this time against the wind. It's still a pretty good kick, a high spiral, and it's taken in at the 20, make that the 15-yard line by David Jefferson. He's down right there. We'll return to the Orange Bowl of Miami after these messages for the score. Miami 7, Florida State nothing. Welcome back to the Orange Bowl on Channel 27. It's Florida State football. Hello there, honey. How you doing? Okay, it's 7-0 Miami. I'm Tom Mees with Jim Crosby. The Hurricanes take over 1st and 10 on their own 15 after a 43-yard punt against the wind by Ron Stark. Kelly, the quarterback. The pitch out is for no gain at all. In fact, a big loss by Smokey Roan. He was belted in there by Jarvis Kersey, who came in and nailed it.
Okay, let's watch Coursey, who has had a pretty good game on defense on a number of occasions. We've called his number when play was stopped for a loss, and Coursey's over there. But it looks like Big Ron's the guy that grabbed him. Coursey had him around the ankles, but Simmons spinning him around from the top.
Also Mark Motzik in there. Simmons and Motzik along with Coursey. That was a loss of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 12 for the Hurricanes deep in their own territory for a change. Here's Hobbs, and Hobbs on a trap play over the 15 up to the 18-yard line. Chris Hobbs from Godby High School in Tallahassee. In on that play, Jarvis Kersey was there along with Paul Porowski. There's a look at the Miami quarterback, Jim Kelly. He's a sophomore, and he's out of well, I'll tell you in a moment. He's out of East Brady, Pennsylvania.
This is a big, big play. Big 3rd down play here, Tom.
3rd and 8 for Miami. It is, Jim. So the Seminoles would like to have Miami to punt deep in their own territory and give Florida State some decent field position. As it is, it's 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Kelly, straight back to throw. Got some time. Looking long for his tight end, and incomplete. He was looking long for Andy Barata. Back there to defend Monk Bonasort. Along with James Harris, but the ball was overthrown.
And frankly, Barata had both of them beaten if the ball hadn't been overthrown. As you see a replay on the screen, Kelly puts it up. He splits the coverage. and the ball was overthrown.
You're right. He did have the Seminole defensive secondary men beat on the play. Gary Henry will be back in single safety, and back to punt for Miami is number 5, Greg LaBelle. He's standing at his 2. He should get it off from about the 5 unless contact is made. Henry is standing at the Seminole 37. It's a good snap. Here come the Seminoles, but LaBelle gets it off. No contact made, no interference. Henry will take it at the 38. And he falls down at the 41-yard line, but nonetheless, the Seminoles have excellent field position. And with 10:44 remaining in the third quarter, the score, Miami 7, Florida State nothing. Tom Mees with Jim Crosby back at the Orange Bowl. The Seminoles have good field position now, Jim. Time to get a drive going. 1st and 10 at the 41. Stockstill straight back to throw again. Stockstill complete out to the tight end, Sam Childers. He's over midfield. Got the first down if they give him the yardage. They're going to mark it at the 49.5-yard line of Miami. Now, that may be inches short. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, apparently the Seminoles have decided it's time to stop playing it cozy on offense. They're getting wild and throwing to the tight end here. And just like we talked about, they were double covering the wide receivers. Childers got it close to a first down.
Well, they take the measurement quickly. Some scores, Jim, from around the country.
All right, we got Missouri beating San Diego State 31-7. Georgia Tech beat a Seminole opponent, Memphis State, 17-8. Ohio State, a 38-21 winner over Arizona State. Wake Forest beat North Carolina State today, 27-7. And those Georgia Bulldogs continue to roll, beating TCU 34-3.
I'll tell you, for my money, Georgia may be the best team in college football right now. It's hard to vote against a Nebraska or Oklahoma or some. Well, it isn't hard to vote against Oklahoma now. They were beaten soundly at home by Stanford, but Georgia is one tough football team. Dooley's got them dogs going. It'll be second down and just inches for the Seminoles as the pass to the tight end, Sam Childers, nets about 9 3/4 yards.
This is a play that sets up interesting possibilities with short yardage.
That's
and
right.
Still another down to get it.
The ball just marked at the midfield stripe. 10:37 left in the third quarter. Miami leads at 7-0. Again, the snap is fumbled for a moment by Stockstill. He did control, and he plunges ahead for the first down. That's about the third time today that the center snap has been fumbled momentarily by Rick Stockstill. But he had the presence of mind to control it.
And that's what happens when you have your first 2 centers go down. It's working with a center that you've only worked with in practice, never under game conditions before. Fortunately, he recovered in time enough to get a first down out of it, Tom, and they have edged over into Miami territory.
At the 49-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Seminoles as Phil Williams brings in a play from head coach Bobby Bowden and his crew. The Seminoles are going with Reedus Coggins, of course, at center. 1st and 10 to go. Stockstill straight back to throw again. Got to get rid of it. Throws it over the middle. Incomplete, and he's lucky it wasn't intercepted. Lester Williams really laid Stockstill down for the count. Rick is getting up slowly. Let's take a look at it again, and you'll see Lester Williams.
All right, on the replay. Stockstill. Play action, faking to Platt. He turns around just in time to see Lester Williams right in his face, and he gets it away, but it's incomplete behind Hardis Johnson.
I'll tell you, you cannot blame Rick for throwing that one away too early. He took quite a shot. He got up slowly, but he's a tough kid. He'll stay in there. It'll be 2nd down and 10. It's apparent now that McKinnon and Williams, at least on this drive, are shuttling in plays. Here goes Stockstill. He'll give the ball to Whiting. Whiting avoids a tackler in the backfield, but he can't avoid a second man, Tim Flanagan, the big left defensive end. And the razzle-dazzle play in the backfield doesn't work. In fact, it will go for a loss of about 2 on the play, making a loss of 3.
Lester Williams really made this play, too. See, he made him go wider by breaking through there. And Flanagan was blocked, but got up and made the tackle. So these guys, I heard one description of this defense saying that they were one of the best defenses in the nation at fighting off blocks and still getting to the ball carrier, and it looks like that's true.
Boy, they sure have shown a lot of tenacity today. Okay, big play for the Seminoles. 3rd and 12. It's Stockstill back to pass. Over the middle, complete to McKinnon, the first down. McKinnon at the 32-yard line. Dennis McKinnon was isolated on a linebacker, Scott Nicholas, and he beat him.
Let's watch the player that Bobby Bowden calls the most exciting player he's had at FSU. Number 6, Dennis McKinnon, as Stockstill fades, drops, and finds the open spot. And if McKinnon had another step, he probably could have outrun anybody on the field there.
Well, McKinnon had to be brought down by Fred Marion, but he beat linebacker Scott Nicholas. 1st and 10 for the Seminoles at the 32. Miami leads at 7-0 if you're just tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the action on Tallahassee's 27. Again, Stockstill to his left. Got some time. Looking to throw over the middle. Is it complete? What a catch! Oh, baby, what a catch by Hardis Johnson.
Fantastic.
First down, what a miraculous catch. We'll lock it again.
Look, all right, we watched Rick Stockstill, and I have to tell you, Stockstill's holding his arm down by his side now after the play is over. But look at him put it right on the money, in between three players right to Hardis Johnson. And Hardis did a great job of hanging on.
The sophomore out of Tampa, Florida. What hands, I'll tell you. Freddie Bolitnikoff, the former Seminole great, couldn't have done it any better.
There's no doubt about it. Stockstill's shoulder is hurting him. We're seeing a great display of courage on this young man's part here.
First and 10 Seminoles, we certainly are. The ball is on the 16. However, the Seminoles are bollocksed up on this play by the Miami defense. Coming in there to stop the play, Bob Nelson. And they'll give it a loss of a yard on the play, be second down and 11. So Florida State with a couple of big passing plays, one to Dennis McKinnon, one to Hardis Johnson. And there is a man who's been wreaking havoc all day in the person of Lester Williams, big number 73 of the Miami Hurricanes. He's been making life difficult for Florida State's offensive players. But he's on the bench right now. That's a good place to have that man. Second down, 11. Stockstill straight back to throw. Goes out of the backfield to Whiting. Whiting inside the 20. Whiting with a great driving effort gets down to the 10, 11-yard line. Michael Whiting ran over a Hurricane defender, and he picks up a gain on what looked like it might be a loss.
That's Michael Whiting for you. He never gives up. Let's watch him. You got to, when you hit him, you got to make sure you see him hit the ground, because he'll fight you every inch of the way.
Oh, look at
see him
that.
Bouncing off of two tacklers and fighting his way for 4 more yards.
It's third down and 5. The ball's at the 11-yard line. The Seminoles have to get to the 6-yard line of Miami for a first down. The biggest play of the game for Florida State so far. Offensively, Flatt and Whiting are in the backfield. Stockstill, back to throw. Got the time over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Unglob. Covered very well by Johnny Swain. And this will bring up a field goal situation, and here comes Bill Capice.
Okay, let's watch this play. Stockstill getting great protection. Fires. Unglob, that one hand in there by the receiver Johnny Swain, or the defender Johnny Swain, may have caused him to drop it. Looked catchable though.
Okay, a big play here now as the Seminoles try and get on the board. Bill Capice attempting a 27-yard field goal. It's 17-yard line plus the 10 of the end zone, angle to the right. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Bill Capice with a 27-yard field goal, and with 7:20 left to go in the third quarter of play, the Seminoles are on the scoreboard. It's now University of Miami 7, Florida State University 3.
Dolphin mascot.
Where's Flipper in his tank? What happened to that?
Well, they had to keep Flipper in salt water, and that salt water kept rusting out those tanks, and they got tired of buying the tanks, so I don't think they have Flipper down here anymore.
Let's see if the Florida State defense now can catch some fire. Actually, they've been playing a whale of a game all day, but let's see if they can nail the Miami offense deep in their own territory. The defense usually comes on after an offensive score with a bit more zip. All right, Kelly still at quarterback, and the give is to Rush. Mark Rush around the left end. He's got big yardage, and he's brought down at the 40-yard line, or nearer to it, the 36-yard line. A 16-yard gain around left end for number 49, Mark Rush.
Well, this play really hurts. Watch Mark Rush. The Hurricanes grab the momentum right back as he just gets outside of everybody, turns on speed, and fortunately, Monk Bonasorte, the last man that had a shot at him, was able to bring him out of bounds.
Now, Ron Simmons and company on defense can't be too pleased at those developments. First and 10 for Miami at their own 36-yard line, and now the Hurricanes have excellent field position. The give is to Rush again. This time, Rush is hit in his own backfield. First man to get him, Arthur Scott. He slowed him down. And then Jarvis Coursey, I'll get that name right sometime today. Jarvis Coursey put him down to the turf. No gain to speak of. Well, now they do give him a half yard. It'll be second down and 9. Now the PA announcer just said no gain, so take your choice. Miami comes out with a tight formation. Into the game for the Hurricanes now, Rocky Belk. He's the substitute wide receiver. Kelly straight back to throw. Got the time over the middle, complete to Joyner. Joyner, big yardage, and Bonasorte brings him down at the Florida State 41-yard line. But Jim Joyner makes a big reception.
Okay, let's take a look here on the replay as the Hurricanes are on the move as Jim Kelly finds Jim Joyner, and Joyner gets away from Herring, and once again the last man, Monk Bonasort, brings him down. And you're listening to WECA TV in Tallahassee, Channel 27.
Happy to bring you Florida State football. The Seminoles trail 7-3 with 6:12 left to go in the third quarter, and an aroused Orange Bowl crowd of nearly 65,000 as Kelly goes back to pass for the Hurricanes. It is complete to Rush, but he's brought down just for a 2-yard gain. Making the tackle that time was Keith Jones, the senior out of Wildwood, Florida.
Keith Jones made the tackle. Keith Jones is limping, too, and he may have to come off the field. Gary Henry will be coming in for Keith Jones. As we watch on the replay, Jim Kelly, once again, the overhead shot of it, and he completes it to his back, and Keith Jones twisted an ankle. He's being helped off the field.
And Gary Henry is in there to replace him. It'll be second down, 8 yards to go for the Seminoles. Miami on the drive at the Florida State 39-yard line. Kelly has been in at quarterback the entire second. Now here's a give to Hobbs. He's nailed for a loss by Reggie Herring. I'm telling you, Herring was there as soon as Hobbs got the ball.
Herring almost took the handoff that time, Tom.
That's right.
Mr. Intensity there. He's really ticked off about missing that tackle on that guy before.
You know what Hobbs is going to tell the quarterback? Hey, don't call that play again. Come on, give me a break. It's a loss back to the 43-yard line, and it'll make it third down and 12. Big play coming up now for Miami. They want to keep this drive alive. Kelly back to throw, no bones about it. Under pressure now, has to get rid of it. Is complete, and for the first down, complete to Pat Walker, the split end. First and 10, Miami at the Seminole 29.
All right, we'll see Pat Walker catch it. I think he caught it in James Harris's zone. It looked like Harris came up to cover Mark Rush, the running back, who should have been covered by a linebacker. And when he did, he dumped it over his head. And Pat Walker, who is one of the premier receivers in the nation, caught it, went out of bounds.
Joyner is split to the top of your screen. Walker to the bottom. First and 10 for the Hurricanes on Florida State's 29-yard line. Kelly directing an excellent drive so far. They give to Hobbs. Great room for Hobbs. Chris Hobbs inside the 15 to the 12-yard line before Butler brings him down, and the Hurricanes are on the march.
They're ripping that line apart. Watch the big hole in the middle as Hobbs cuts back, and they take Herring with the flow of it. And he cuts back across the grain and breaks the tackle there of Henry, and Bobby Butler saved it.
Big block that time for Miami by center John Fenton, number 62. Fenton is out of Hialeah, Florida, right in the Miami area. 4:22 now, the clock running, first and 10 for Miami. 4:22 left in the third quarter. Pitch out goes to Mark Rush. The Seminoles are going to drop him for a loss. Back there to diagnose that play, Bobby Butler in company with Jarvis Corsi, and a big play for Florida State. You know, it's important, Jim, to prevent Miami from getting a touchdown here. You don't want to give up any points, but a field goal wouldn't put you out of the game.
That's right. Big play, Bobby Butler coming up very quickly on this one and throws Mark Rush for a loss, and that was a big play. Of course, they can put it up now, and the passing attack has really been working for the Hurricanes. First time the Seminole pass defense has really been put to the test this year.
It'll be second down 15, a loss of 5 on that last play by Mark Rush. Here comes the pressure on Kelly. Kelly's got to dump it off to Rush. Rush got big yardage. Rush to the 10. Rush is out of bounds on the 7-yard line, or he's inbounds, but he's brought down at the 7.
Bobby Butler saved it again. But they're really mixing it up well. They're going to the wide receivers, and then they're coming back short to the up backs, and they have the Seminole defense off balance once more, and you see Butler getting away from the block of Jim Joyner and hitting Mark Rush, and that's what happened before, Tom. We saw James Harris come up to stop the back, and they went to the wide receiver this time. He stayed back, and they went to the up back.
The ball is on the Seminoles 7-yard line. Third down, 4 yards to go for Miami. Florida State wants to stop the Hurricanes here from getting a first down. Miami leads it 7-3. The crowd at the Orange Bowl is in a tizzy, and the give is to Rush. He does not have the first down. He has no more than 2 yards, if that. So this brings up a big decision for Howard Schnellenberger. He's going to go for the field goal. The ball is almost in the center of the field. It'll be at the 5-yard line. In to attempt the field goal will be Dan Miller. He does all the kicking off and place kicking. He's not the punter.
This is a good time for Bobby Butler to pull one of his patented block kicks.
That's right. How many does he have now?
I think he's got 2 this year. He's out on the right side now.
All right, this will be a 22-yard attempt. Should be a chip shot. The snap is down. The kick is blocked.
It.
It's blocked, but it is good.
Oh!
Bobby Butler hit that ball, and it went through the uprights anyway. Oh, when you're living right, these things happen. Let's take another look at it.
Bobby Butler, we called it that it was time for him to block it. Only thing is, he didn't block it to the side. He blocked it, and it went through.
Look at that.
He
There's
did get
Butler.
a hand on it. What more can you ask of a player? He hit it, but the ball was kicked so strongly that it went through.
Well, Howard Schnellenberger must be living right. I'll tell you, he must have done a few good deeds for people last week. Let's give credit to both people, though. Give credit to Butler for making the block. Give credit to the kicker, in that case Miller, for having the strong foot to get it through. And the score is now Miami 10 and Florida State 3. But the team trading field goals here in the third quarter, still only a 7-point margin, and we've got 2:08 left to go in this quarter yet.
It wasn't beautiful, but what it did was offset that field goal that FSU just made. Now they got to come back downfield and this time get a touchdown.
McKinnon is deep in the end zone to receive the kickoff of Dan Miller, who just hit on that 22-yard attempt. McKinnon will take the kick 7 yards deep, and he's going to down it. Florida State does not want to have bad field position. So the Seminoles will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. And now this would be another good point as we look at Miami's Howard Schnellenberger. He's got to be elated at the play of his team. Another good point to start another Seminole drive, Jim. A long drive for hopefully a touchdown.
2:08 left in the third quarter. So there's plenty of time in this ball game. It can go either way, but you just can't make a mistake. You got to be error-free the rest of the way.
Well, you don't see that every day. How about that? A field goal attempt blocked it. It went right through the middle of the uprights. All right, Stockstill back to throw. 1st and 10 from the 20. It is intercepted. Intercepted by the Miami Hurricanes. Scott Nicholas, number 66. Stockstill threw it right into Nicholas' hands, and that's a big play in this game.
He was trying to go to Hardis Johnson, and let's watch on the instant replay as Stockstill throws it, and he threw into heavy coverage there again.
Yep.
And that's what happened the last time he went to Hardis Johnson. Johnson made a brilliant catch, but you can't throw into that kind of coverage in your end of the field.
The Miami Hurricane fans are going berserk. 2:01 left to go in the third quarter. The Hurricanes lead it 10-3. They've had much the better of it offensively today, no doubt about that. 1st and 10 at the Florida State 31. Kelly gives it to Hobbs, and Hobbs is dragged down after a 2- or 3-yard gain. Reggie Herring, the first man to get in there, along with Paul Porowski. I tell you, that old fickle player, Momentum, is now playing for the Miami Hurricanes, and we got to stop that.
And I tell you what, you haven't seen a college football crowd this excited in the Orange Bowl in some time. As you look at the Miami band, they've really got them going as they smell victory. But these Seminoles are a good come-from-behind team. They have been in the past.
Long way to go in this football game, yeah, that's for sure. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. They give Hobbs again a 2 on that last play. Kelly straight back to throw over the middle, almost intercepted. Oh, a good play defensively by Jarvis Coursey, as I believe the intended receiver was Jim Joyner, and Coursey batted it down.
All right, let's watch this one. Of course, almost or not that good right now. You got to grab it when you get your hands on it, and Coursey wasn't really to the ball that much. He did do a nice job of preventing a catch there. And it's going to be a big, big third down play, Tom.
That was Mark Cooper, the big tight end, was the intended receiver, not Joyner. At any rate, it's 3rd down, 8 yards to go. The attendance today, less than I expected. They were talking about 65,000. The paid attendance, 50,008, but there's a lot more people in this park than that. Kelly back to throw, looking and not finding Pat Walker. Good coverage that time of the Seminole secondary. James Harris on the coverage over in that area, along with Monk Bonasorte.
All right, let's watch Jim Kelly throw to Pat Walker. Pat Walker is a tough receiver, much tougher than the statistics show this year, because he's had a pulled hamstring early, and it was just a little high, or they would have had a very important completion there. And they're going to have another field goal attempt. Miller, who is now 3 for 7 on the year, trying a fairly long one.
Well, the ball's at the 35. It'll be a 45-yard attempt. Angle to the right. There you see the shot from the end zone. The snap is down. Miller has it. No good. Wide to the left. It is wide to the left. So that kick is no good, and a big defensive series for the Seminoles as they hold, and now maybe Momentum will switch sides and Florida State can get something going.
All right, That was a very, very big play, Tom. It's nice when you make a mistake down there to keep them from getting something on the board.
That ball, again, was almost blocked, and the kicker, Miller, knuckleballed it. He had no sense of direction at all. It was plenty long enough, but he yanked it to the left. 1st and 10 for Florida State on their own 28. Stockstill again, straight back to throw. Rick Stockstill fumbles the football. Miami is going to get a touchdown. Touchdown, Miami. Charles Cook, number 75, picks up a Rick Stockstill fumble and goes into the end zone. But hold everything. We have an officials conference. They may call this back. One official signaled touchdown.
It's a question of whether his arm started forward. Rick Stockstill was back to pass.
It is
a fumble.
A fumble. All right, it is first down. The rule on this is, on a fumble, apparently, you cannot advance it into the end zone.
All right. But
it's no touchdown.
There goes offsetting the great defensive effort the Seminoles just came up with. The Hurricanes have it in great field position, 19-yard line. The Seminoles, if they let them get a touchdown here, they're in bad trouble.
Minute 3 left to go in the third quarter. In pro football, that would have been a touchdown. You can't advance a fumble. In college football, you can't. I apologize for not remembering that rule immediately, but it's 1st and 10 for Miami at the Seminole 19-yard line. Here is the give in the backfield to Smokey Roan. Roan, a fumble on the play. Let's see who's got it.
Miami got it.
Miami got it back. Roan fumbled that time.
We'll see the lineman here jumping on the ball. Art Kehoe fell on it after Roan fumbled. It would have been an excellent opportunity for the Seminoles to turn things back around here. Keith Jones, you see, is back in the game, so apparently his ankle's all right. Ball squirts out, and the lineman is right there. 30
seconds left in the third quarter. No gain on that play. 2nd down and 10. Now Mike Rodriguez back in at quarterback for Miami. Rodriguez, a long count. Rodriguez rolling right. Wants to pitch out. No, he's going to keep it. And a great defensive play for the Seminoles by Scott McLean. He drags down Rodriguez. Maybe he got a yard, if that. No, in fact, they're going to put the ball at the 20, just over the 20-yard line, a loss of a yard, 3rd down and 12.
On the replay, Scott McLean from Claremont, Florida, with a great tackle, and the quarter is ending.
That's the end of the third quarter of play. We got one more quarter to go, and the score on Tallahassee 27, University of Miami Hurricanes 10, the Florida State Seminoles 3. We'll be right back. Tom Mees with Jim Crosby back to the Orange Bowl. James, we start the fourth quarter. Florida State trailing 10-3, and Miami 3rd and 11 on the FSU 20-yard line. They have to get just about to the 9 for the first down. Kelly back in at quarterback to give us to Rush, and Rush will get nowhere. They're setting up a field goal is what they're doing. Rush carried the ball to the center of the field, tackled at about the 18-yard line. Here comes Dan Miller back in the game, Jim, and he'll try about a 35-yarder this time against the wind, which, wouldn't you know it, has died down.
And, Tom, don't be surprised when FSU gets the ball if you see Blair Williams come in and throw some passes. He's warming up on the sideline.
All right, we'll look for that. The Seminole band played the fight song between periods. The fans from Tallahassee down here for this game going wild and supporting their team. Right now, let's look at Miller. Let's see if he can get this one in. It's a 36-yard attempt. The kick is long enough, but it is wide to the left again. Miller has missed, so the defense is held. All right. Now, this is where Florida State's got to take over and go.
That's a very, very important thing to have happen at this point because it doesn't put the game out of reach. A touchdown ties it. You see Danny Miller. The snap is down, and the kick is up, and the kick sails off to the left.
Way wide, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a wide one, and it looks like Rick Stockstill is going to come in instead of Blair Williams, who continues to warm up on the sideline. Well,
just in case, Bobby Bowden has Williams ready, but Stockstill, you're right, he's still in there. 1st and 10 Seminoles on the 19-yard line. Stockstill now. We have the officials calling a timeout. There's some discussion as to where the ball should be placed, I believe. They had put it on the 19, now they move it to the 20. That's right, of course, a missed field goal.
All right.
Missed field goal inside the 20. Comes out to the 20. And the line of scrimmage was inside the 20, so Florida State's offensive crew said, hey, give us the yard. And they did. 1st and 10 for the Seminoles from the 20. Now we've gotten the yardage situation straightened out. 14-19 left to play. FSU trails by a touchdown. Here's Sam Platt. Platt trying to skirt the left end. No dice. Sam Platt is brought down by Mike Gedeker, big defensive end from Rochester, Pennsylvania.
Miami defense doing a super job here. Watch him string this play out. Make him keep going wider and wider until he runs out of room. Fighting off the blocks. And Godecker, who is called the Betty Crocker of the Miami Hurricanes because he likes to do some cooking and sewing, knocked him out of bounds.
He was cooking on that play. Second down and 10. Stockstill falling to his right, looking to throw. Got some time, intended for Childers, and Childers has it, but only a gain of about 4 yards in the play up to the 24. Sam Childers has Stockstill threw back against the grain. It'll be 3rd down and 5 yards to go for the Seminoles.
Well, with a long yardage play, as you watch it again, Miami would definitely give them the short one and not try to give up anything long, and they just gave Childers a 4-yard gain and still 6 yards to go now for a first down.
All right, they marked it back a little bit, 6 yards to go. The Seminole band across the way. And some of the Seminole fans. Clock running, 13 minutes left, 10-3 Miami. Seminoles need 6 yards here to get a first down. Stockstill straight back to throw. Over the middle, complete to Bill Williams. How did he hang on to that one? Now, where are they going to spot it? Williams has the first down. They say he got to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Seminoles.
The Hurricane fans don't think so, but we will see it on the replay. I think Williams is also shaken up a little as he comes off the field. Let's watch Rick Stockstill in action. Deep drop, goes back about 7 yards. See Burt jumping up, trying to stop it in the middle. Bill Williams hung on to it, but they put quite a stick on him there. And he holds on to it for a first down, and an important first down.
Oh, a big catch in this drive. Let's hope it ends with a touchdown. McKinnon and Hardis Johnson, the wide receivers for Florida State. Stockstill again back to throw. Got some time now. Rick's going to keep it. He's going to run, and he'll lose about a yard on the play. Stockstill, though, saw all the receivers were covered, and eventually Jim Burt brings him down.
Well, they're dropping 7 men back now. It's hard to pass into that. Stockstill thinks that he sees a momentary opening up the middle, but he didn't get there. Godecker got a little hand on him to start with and slowed him down enough where Jim Burt comes back up and makes a tackle again.
Well, Rick's trying to fool and freeze those linebackers, Jim, with some play action on every play, but the linebackers know, at least it seems that they know he's going to pass, and they don't go for that play action to the running back. The back's in the eye, 2nd and 11. Stockstill slips, but gets the ball to Platt anyway, and Sam Platt turns a loss into a 3-yard gain before Moselle Axon. Now, that's a heck of a name for you. From Polk City, Florida, makes the tackle, but Stockstill living dangerously out there.
Big Mo, they call him down here, and you'll see why as Axon, well, it's nice slowing him up there was Burt to start with, and then Moselle Axon came up and made the hit, and it's long yardage, a big play.
Another big down here. 3rd down and 8 for the Seminoles. The ball at the 33-yard line. Stockstill, again, play action, straight back to throw. Going long for Hardis Johnson. It is incomplete. A great defensive play. A great play by Fred Marion as he tipped that ball away from Hardis Johnson.
Well, in the press guide, it says that Fred Marion covers a lot of ground, and we'll see why they say that here, because he came way over, and he got there just in time, got a hand on it, tipped it away. It would have been a big completion. Now FSU has to punt, trailing 10-3.
That's such a beautiful play. Hardis Johnson had a line on that ball. It was right there.
Sure
Ron
did.
Stark back to punt. And Thompson and Jefferson deep for Miami. Thompson, number 22, Jefferson, number 30, standing at about the 25 and 30-yard lines, respectively. Ron Stark gets the punt. No pressure, gets it away, and end over end, a low punt. Taken by Jefferson. Jefferson has some running room, but he's brought down at the 39. And with 11:04 remaining in the game, the score, Miami 10, Florida State 3. We'll be back in a moment. Members of the Miami rooting delegation here in the Orange Bowl, she just said Miami was number 1. Well, I know everybody in Tallahassee would disagree with that. Let's see what happens here. It's 1st and 10 to go for Miami in their own 39. Kelly is the quarterback as we go with 11 minutes left in the game. Kelly fakes once, twice, got to get it away, and it is incomplete. Intended for Hobbs out of the
Kelly
backfield.
Screen pass intended for Hobbs.
And now we get the public address announcer in our earphone. We hope that he doesn't pop up again.
That was different. All right, Jarvis Coursey knocked this away. He had to jump up over 2 blockers to do it. As you see Kelly faking to one side and coming back to the other, but Coursey stayed at home. Just as it was going to go into Hobbs' hands, he hit it and knocked it away.
What a great college football game we've got for you today on Tallahassee's 27. The Seminoles and Hurricanes fighting a war in the Orange Bowl, and it's 10-3 Miami. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 39. Kelly straight back to throw again. What a passing show we're seeing this afternoon. Kelly over the middle. Incomplete and almost intercepted by Bonasort. Monk Bonasort, as the ball was intended for Larry Brodsky, and Brodsky went the wrong way. Monk Bonasort almost had a big interception.
Monk Bonasort is sick now. Let's watch this play. Kelly missed through this one. He hasn't thrown too many that were badly off target, but this was one. Bonasort hit his hand, bounced off his shoulder pad, and to the ground. Three major colleges in the state of Florida started the day undefeated. Florida is still undefeated. One of these two teams is going to go down, Tom.
Unless it's a tie.
Right.
And that, we do have
Which
that
is a possibility, right.
3rd down and 10. Big play in this drive for Miami. Kelly rolling right. Got some time. Now he's pressured, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. Big play by Reggie Herring is in there. And let's see who else gets up. Jimmy Gilbert.
That's right. That was James Gilbert that hit him first. And Gilbert is getting a reputation for being a big play guy. You see him fighting off the block and grabbing Kelly around the waist, and then Herring making sure that he went down.
All right, in there to punt now for Miami is Greg LaBelle. Back in single safety, Gary Henry, and the Seminoles look like they're going to rush this one.
He made a big return against Miami last year, and it would be a great time for him to do it now.
LaBelle will get the snap at his 18. He'll get it away from the 20. Here comes the rush. He gets it away, and we're going to have roughing the kicker. Roughing the kicker on Florida State. Henry catches it, but it'll be immaterial. Henry is dragged down at the 27, but we've got a flag back at the Miami 21-yard line. And roughing the kicker will be the call.
That was Ron Simmons that roughed the kicker. He almost got that ball, but he didn't get it. It's going to be 15 yards, and I'm not sure whether 15 yards would still give him a first down, Tom. Looks like it might be about a 4th and 1 after they mark it off. Let's see where they mark it off from. This is going to be an important step off here. And if it gave them a 4th and 1, say on the 48 or 49, would they still punt? It's going to be more than 1, so they may have to still punt it.
First down. Oh, it's an automatic first down on a roughing the kicker call.
Oh, okay.
The referee has signaled first down.
It's a shame that it is because it still would have been a punting situation.
But 1st and 10 for Miami, and a big break for the Hurricanes with still a lot of time left in this game. 10:01. They go double flanker to the left. Walker is out there with Jim Joyner. Kelly still in the ball game. Ball now at the Miami 47-yard line. So instead of having the football, Miami's got it in great field position. And here goes Smokey Roan, and Roan is into Seminole territory. Down at the 45 before Herring brings him down. A gain of 9 for Roan.
A lot of missed tackles here today, and you're going to see one right here as they get the flow going in one direction, and Roan cuts back, and Arthur Scott can't latch on to him. And it's a big gainer, and 2nd and short.
2nd down, and well, they call it 2, but it's closer to 1. Take my word for it. University of Miami now in the I formation. Right at the Seminole 46-yard line. The give is to Roan. Again, I don't know whether he's got it. It's going to be awfully close. Roan just took the handoff up the middle. Ron Simmons was in there. Jimmy Gilbert in there. Let's see where they place it. Well, he does not have the first down. The ball is just on the other side of the 45.
That's a shot of Danny Brown there, who was injured. Early in the game, he hit Mike Whiting and caused him to fumble, and then he got an injury later.
Well, looks like around the knee area. That's not too good to see.
No.
Clock running, 8:55 left to go. Big play here. 3rd down and run for Miami. The Florida State 45. We're just inside it. Here's the handoff to Hobbs, and Hobbs, I believe, has the first down. He broke a tackle by James Harris, who came up to force the play. It's going to be very close, but I believe they may give him the first down. Well, we're going to have a measurement.
While we have a measurement, let's take a look at it again and just see how this happened as Hobbs slants off tackle. They're not doing anything straight ahead. They're either going at an angle or around in, and Arthur Scott brings him down, and the officials are bringing the chains out to make the measurement down.
10-3, Miami leads. First half touchdown, a 1-yard plunge by quarterback Jim Kelly, the only touchdown of the day, and it is short of a first down. Oh, I tell you, it's just short. A couple of chain links. Be 4th down. And Howard Schnellenberger, the fans want him to go for it, but they always do. But Schnellenberger's going to punt. A pivotal play in this game. He has the ball in Florida State territory. What he's going to try to do, Jim, I think, if he does go along with the punt, is have LaBelle pin Florida State back with an out-of-bounds kick.
I wouldn't even be surprised to see him try to take a penalty and draw them off sides here.
Florida State's going to rush all 11 men. Now Henry goes back in single safety. I thought for a minute they were going to send everyone, but 10 men will be rushing. Henry standing at the 10. LaBelle gets a low snap. He fields it well. A high kick. It won't go too far. Henry's calling for a fair catch, and he'll take it at the 22-yard line. We'll return to the Orange Bowl of Miami after these messages with the score. Miami 10, Florida State 3. As dust begins to fall in the Orange Bowl, the Seminoles trail by a touchdown. 8:10 left in the game, and to give on first down to Sam Platt. Platt breaks one tackle and carries from the 21 up to the 24. Gain of 3 on the play before he is brought down finally by David Jefferson. Be 2nd and 7.
The lights are on here. Miami trying to put the lights out for FSU as Sam Platt runs to the left, and he gets a little bit of a gain here. He gets outside of Godecker. But coming up, David Jefferson hits him, and Ronnie Lippett also helps him out. I mentioned that the Seminoles are planning to leave here at 8 o'clock on an Air Florida flight back to Tallahassee. Should arrive at 9:05 at Tallahassee Airport.
Let's hope they arrive with a victory. Need a drive here, though. Stockstill straight back to throw. He's looking for Platt out of the backfield. He's got him at the 26, but Sam will not get much further. He gets up to the 27. The big man on defense that play was Scott Nicholas, the weak side linebacker, has played a heck of a game. He contained the play.
Okay, watch this Miami defense here on this play as Stockstill goes back. You see Burt and Williams rushing him, making him get it off, and he has to throw to the short man Platt, and he just can't get by that one tackler up there.
I stand corrected. John Daniels was the big man, 36 instead of 66. It's 3rd down and 4. Big play upcoming for Florida State. There's the Orange Bowl. The lights are on here. Quite a scene. Stockstill straight back to throw. Got the time over the middle, complete to Childers, and he drops it. Sam Childers had the first down. He was nailed by Marion, and Sam drops the football. He was wide open, Jim, but what a tackle.
Heartbreak City on this one. Let's watch Stockstill drill it in there nicely. Childers wide open, has his feet planted. The ball is thrown right in the numbers, but when he turns to run, Marion knocks it loose from him. And he never really closed it up.
You got to catch balls like that. You really do. In tight situations, Sam, he just didn't do it. He got hit hard, in all fairness to the man. Ron Stark in the punt now for Bobby Bowden's crew. It will be a double safety employed by the Miami Hurricanes, and Lawrence Thompson takes it. A great punt back at the 13-yard line. Thompson being hemmed in and now slips and falls at the 27-yard line. The clock continues to roll, and now it's stopped for the first down for Miami as they'll mark it, but it'll be rolling, Jim, and we have 6:33 left to go in the ball game, and the defense has to stop Miami right now.
That was a 60-yard kick by Ron Stark. You can't say he's not doing his job. As you see, Miami defensive player being strapped up on the sideline.
The Miami fans are giving their team a standing ovation as Rodriguez is in there now at quarterback. 1st and 10. The ball on the 27-yard line. Hobbs and Rush are the running backs. Seminoles want to shut him down now. The give is to Rush, and Rush has nice yardage over the 30 to the 32-yard line. This boy has been impressive to me as a running back.
All right, we're going to run it again here. Mike Rodriguez from Tallahassee, Florida, handing off to Mark Rush from Fort Lauderdale. And he cuts back, and Borowski tripped him up, but not before he had ripped off about 5 or 6 yards there.
Seminoles need a break here. They need a turnover of some sort. Stop this drive. Gain of 5 yards for Rush to be 2nd down and 5. The ball is up at the 32-yard line. Double flanker formation. Give to Hobbs now as Miami wants to try and run some time off that clock, and Hobbs gains only 1.5 yards at the utmost 2 before he's brought down. Mark Motzik is in there at the bottom of the pile, and a big play here obviously with 5:40 left to go, Jim. It's 3rd down and 3.
Time is definitely an enemy. There are only 2 teams that have beaten Bobby Bowden twice since he's been at Florida State, the University of Miami and the University of Oklahoma, and Miami has been tough on Bobby.
Well, the Hurricanes played Florida State tough last year for much of the game in Tallahassee. We're finally going down. Okay, 3rd and 4. Here we go. Rodriguez, the quarterback. Long snap count, and I believe he took too much time. He did, and a mental error by Rodriguez because there's still 5:14 left in the game, and this will make it a 3rd down and 9 call.
Well, I'm sure a lot of the fans who have seen Blair Williams throw the ball at Leon High and throw the ball in the latter moments of the last 2 games are wondering why Coach Bowden is not putting him in. But I think it's a very wise thing to do early in a young man's career. He's got to show that he has confidence in Stocksville to do the job and not throw a man in for the first time with the game resting on his shoulders.
3rd and 9 now is the situation for Miami. The ball back at the 29-yard line. Here come the Seminoles on defense. Bonasort with the rush. He misses Rodriguez. He gets the ball away incomplete. Bonasort, though, did his job, Jim. He forced Rodriguez to throw before he wanted to.
That was a safety blitz, and like we talked about on the LSU game, Jack Stanton doesn't put too many blitzes in, but this time he blitzed the linebacker. You saw Herring in the middle, and he blitzed a safety, and just hoping with an all-out blitz to get to him. And fortunately, he put enough pressure on him where he had to throw an incompletion and a big punt coming up.
You talk about a pressure punt. Yes, sir, as Bobby Bowden talks to some of his coaching staff and also members of the offensive team trying to get them ready. LaBelle is going to be under pressure here. He'll get it at the 15, and if he kicks it off, it'll be from about the 20. Gary Henry in single safety at the FSU 30. Biggest punt of the game. LaBelle. It is a high end-over-ender. Big punt. Henry will gather it in at the 25. He's got some running room. Henry tries to turn the left side. Gary Henry. Gary Henry to the 40. And he slips and falls at the 45. Oh, that's too bad. But a good return anyway for Gary Henry. And we'll be back with more Florida State football in just a moment. The score, Miami 10, Florida State 3. Well, a rather big member of the Miami football team. On the back of his shirt says, built like a Mack truck. I'd believe it.
That was an important return by Gary Henry. Seminoles with good field position. They got to do it now, Tom.
Yes, they do. 1st and 10. Great field position at the 45. Henry set it up. Stock still back to throw. Here come the Hurricanes. Stock still over the middle. Complete to Hardis Johnson. And Johnson into Kane territory at the 47 to make it the 48-yard line. A gain of 7 for Hardis Johnson.
All right, let's watch Rick Stockton drill the ball into Hardis Johnson here as the Seminoles are fighting for their lives here. Stockton puts it right in there, and Hardis Johnson puts it away, and the Noles have short yardage.
Yes, they do. It's 2nd down and 3, but the clock running 4 minutes flat left to go in this football game. Johnson and McKinnon and Unglaub, 3 wide receivers in there now. Here's a fumble by Stockstill, but he recovers it. Stockstill again fumbling that snap from center by Reedus Coggin. However, fortunately, he recovers his fumble.
Watch it on the replay. Let's see if he gets that snap up there or what happens. No matter what happened, it didn't look like he got the ball all the way up to Stockstill's hands, and that's just like throwing a play away.
Yes, it is, because now it's 3rd and 4. You just threw it down away there, and you can't do that. The clock running 3:30 left to go in the game. Oh, I'll tell you, wouldn't it be nice if McKinnon or Hardis Johnson could break away for a long one? Miami crowd chanting defense. Stockstill under pressure, and he won't get it away. And there's a fumble or not. Yes, there's a fumble, but Florida State recovers. The referee says it was a fumble, but the Seminoles have recovered. So at least Florida State will have a 4th down opportunity, and you know they're going to go for it.
Looks like they might have recovered the fumble for a yard gain or a half a yard anyway, but still it's 4th and about 3 as Stockstill's hit. The ball squirts right through his legs. Coggins tries for it, and Sam Platt gets it.
Mike Gettiker caused the fumble to happen. We have a timeout call by Florida State, I believe. Timeout call by Florida State. We'll keep it right here with 2:55 remaining in this football game. Let's set this up for a moment, Jim. The Seminoles have not scored a touchdown all day. Miami, although they have much the better of the offensive stats, only the 1 touchdown, and that came after a questionable pass interference call in the 2nd quarter. You got to hand it to the Seminole defense. Although they've bent, they haven't been broken, and they've come up with a big play time and time again. Now it's time for the offense to do it.
All right, the Seminoles have had no running attack today is the big problem. They haven't been able to run against Miami at all, but they have passed successfully. You, at the top of the show, alluded to the fact that you thought that FSU could pass on Miami. They have, but they have not hit the big pass. Now they've got to cover 48 yards. Unless we forget, in college football, you got the opportunity to go for 2. If they could put a touchdown on the board, they could still win this thing. 2 of the great college football teams in the state of Florida. Florida State and Miami coming at you on Tallahassee's 27. Here we go, 4th and 3. Seminoles need 3 yards. Stockstill back to pass. Over the middle, complete for the 1st down. McKinnon has got it. Dennis McKinnon to the Kane 37-yard line. There won't be a bigger play won't be a bigger play for the Seminoles this year. And we've got it on the replay for you as Rick Stockstill from the end zone shot. You see he's got good protection, and he fires it right over Lester Williams' hands. And Dennis McKinnon making the safe catch, putting it away, and the Noles are knocking on their door now, 38 yards away.
Field goal do no good. Florida State must get a touchdown and then think about 2 points. Stockstill straight back to throw again. 1st and 10. There's a flag on the play. The catch is good. Bill Williams, but we have a flag in the Florida State backfield. It is against the Seminoles. It is holding, offensive holding, and that is a big, big blow to the Florida State attack. Williams had the ball at the 19, but it'll come back.
It's going to be a holding call against Tom Brannon, and we'll see it on the replay. Tom Brannon called for holding as Stockstill backs up the pass. You see the lineman dropping back. That's Lee Adams, 63, and 70 is Fudge. And right there, Brannon took Lester Williams to the ground, and they say that he grabbed him to do it. And instead of having a first down inside the 20, they've got the ball back on their own 48.
All right, 2:21 left to go in the game. Instead of 1st and 10, Jim, it's also 1st and 25 on the 48-yard line. The Seminoles have to get to the 28-yard line, or the 27-yard line of Miami. 1st and 25. And Miami knows that Florida State's going to pass. Stockstill has a big job ahead of him. Stockstill got the time. Going long for Hardis Johnson, complete. A great catch by Johnson. He's out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Hardis Johnson beat the double coverage that time.
Anybody that thinks Rick Stockstill can't pass should watch this. He just laid that ball in between 2 defenders right in Hardis Johnson's hands. And Johnson did a great job of keeping his balance and getting his feet down. You only have to get 1 foot down in college football before you go out of bounds.
What a football game. Win or lose, what a football game at the Orange Bowl.
2nd and 9, Tom. This is drama.
I tell you, Stockstill straight back to pass. He's got some pressure, has to get it off to Whiting. Whiting, a nice cut. Mike Whiting still on his feet, fighting to the 34-yard line. He'll be about 7 yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Okay, let's watch a tough 2 or 3 yard gain here as Stockstill looks down and sees all of his receivers covered and a big rush on him and dumps it off to Mike Whiting. Mike Whiting does a good job of avoiding the first tackler, Jim Burt, but there were 3 more right there.
It'll be 3rd down and 7. The clock rolling. 1:40 left to go. 1 minute 40 seconds. The Seminoles on the drive that will either tie it up, win it, or lose it. Stockstill makes the run. He's got the time. Over the middle, complete to Johnson, and Johnson has the first down at the Miami 19-yard line.
All right, let's take another look at it. Hardis Johnson getting in between the defenders. The Seminoles are going with 3 wide receivers on every play, and they're getting good protection here. And Stockstill just lays it right on the money, and Hardis puts it away. And the Seminoles are in touchdown territory with a first down.
1:15 and the clock is running in the Orange Bowl. The ball is at the 19. 1st and 10, Florida State. 10-3 the score. Miami. Stockstill. Again, lots of time going for McKinnon. It is knocked away. Knocked away by Mark Smith, an extra defensive back who made a great play. I hesitated because he tipped it, and I thought McKinnon might have a chance at it.
That's right. You talk about tension. The hearts of 50,000 people stopped on this one as the ball was tipped. Could have been an interception, could have been a reception, but what it was an incompletion, and it's 2nd, and the clock stops. We got less than a minute now.
58 seconds. Mark Smith made that defensive play. He's a senior out of Merritt Island, Florida. It'll be 2nd down and 10 to go for the Seminoles. Stockstill straight back to pass. Under pressure, out to Whiting. Whiting has some running room. Michael Whiting gets inside the 15 to the 11-yard line. About 2 yards short of the first down. The clock is rolling. 45 seconds left to go in the game, and now the clock is stopped. Now timeout, Florida State. We're going to look at that play again.
All right, let's watch Mike Whiting. He was going for the first down, I know. That's what he had in mind, but it would have been nice if he could have gotten out of bounds on this one. And it looked like he might have had an ample opportunity to do it, but he cut back up, tried to lower his head and get the first down, and he didn't get out of bounds or get the first down either. But it'll be 3rd and about 2 long yards, Tom. And the score 10-3, Miami leading Florida State. 45 seconds left. The comeback kids here, the Seminoles, have got to do it. Shades of Cincinnati, they got to do it.
Oh, I tell you, I remember that Cincinnati game very vividly. When Florida State fell behind, what, 21-0, and came back. Now, you know, Florida State has a 3rd down and 2. 45 seconds left. They need to get the first down, but they also need the touchdown. And then, well, if you want to prognosticate, if Florida State gets the touchdown, would they go for 2 points to win it or lose it?
They would definitely go for 2 points. I don't think Bobby Bowden's ever going to go for a tie. They're putting tremendous pressure on this defense. They've got 3 wide receivers in there every time. If you can give Stockstill just a little bit of protection, you know, with those 3 receivers that they've got there. Of course, you're running out of territory to maneuver in when you get down here. That's another problem.
3rd down and 2. McKinnon is split to the right. Harness Johnson split to the left. Stockstill, the quarterback, straight back to throw. Stockstill has a man open in the end zone. Childers, touchdown! Sam Childers, touchdown! Right. Florida State. The Seminoles have scored. Sam Childers.
Did Big Sam make up for the drop he had before? He's being mobbed over the corner of the end zone by the Seminoles. Sam Childers from Leon High, Tallahassee, Florida.
We're going to
have a replay. This is one Seminole fans will enjoy seeing as the drama comes down to one play here, a 2-point conversion. But watch Big Sam and relive that moment. Sam Childers in the end zone behind David Jefferson. For the touchdown is 10 Miami, 9 Florida State. And no doubt about it, the Seminoles are going to go for 2.
Childers was wide open. And I tell you, if I lost a little bit of control, I don't think I have to apologize. That was a great play, and you could see Childers was open. All he had to do was catch the ball.
Well, who was yelling loudest, me or you?
I don't know. I think I may have drowned you out. But hold on, Tallahassee. We've got a 2-point conversion. They have 39 seconds left to go. 2-point conversion. Bobby Bowden and his brain trust talking with Rick Stockstill over there on the sidelines as the Seminoles offensive unit takes a break. You know what has to be going through the minds of the Miami ball players? They fought so hard for so long.
Yeah, and they've got to really be nervous back there in that secondary because they have been picked apart by Rick Stockstill with the pressure on. He's driven it all the way down the field passing. Even in light of a big penalty there, a holding penalty, still came back and found the open man every time. And now it's come down to this play.
All right, the 2-point conversion. It is 10-9 Miami. Florida State will either win it or lose it on this play. Stockstill back to throw. No flag. Stockstill over the middle. It is tipped and incomplete. Incomplete. So the score remains Miami 10, Florida State 9 with 39 seconds left. We'll be back at the Orange Bowl in just a moment. Let's take another look at that 2-point conversion play that was blocked. There it is, the block, and there's that man, Jim Bird. All right, back to live action. Capice, the onside kick attempt, there it is, and it is covered up by Johnny Swain. Miami has the football, and with 38 seconds left, there's not much the Seminoles can do. They're out of timeouts. All Miami has to do is just call one play and fall on the football, and that'll be it. Well, Jim, a gallant effort by the Seminoles. But, you know, you have to admire Bobby Bowden. You knew he was going to do it. He was going to go for the win, and there is a very happy Miami Hurricanes.
That's the president of the University of Miami.
This has got to be one of the biggest football wins in Miami in many, many years. Well, we have a penalty against Florida State for unsportsmanlike conduct, personal foul, which moves the ball to the Seminole 38-yard line, but it won't matter. Miami's not going to take a chance on a turnover.
Boy, I tell you, though, Seminole fans got to be proud of this crew for the way they came back. A lot of teams could have given up, but they drove down and put it right to the Hurricanes and could have won it very easily.
Yes, they could have, but big Jim Bird, he'll be the man that Rick Stockstill will be seeing in his sleep. There's Kelly. He just takes the snap and falls. We have 33 seconds left in the game. Maybe one more play, maybe not. The clock is running. The Orange Bowl is in an uproar. It is a complete bedlam here.
Tom, it'd really be nice if there could be a big crowd out there to greet the Seminoles around 9 o'clock. 9:05, they're supposed to get back to Tallahassee, and let them know that, hey, fellas, we know you played a tough team. You ran into a buzzsaw down there. We're proud of you, and let's go on from here to Nebraska. You can gain everything you've lost today back next week.
The time is running out now. The crowd thinks the game is over, but the clock is stopped with 3 seconds. What is it about this Orange Bowl turf recently, Jim? Of course, the Orange Bowl gave Oklahoma decisively over Florida State, and today a gallant comeback effort is thwarted on a two-point conversion pass that was blocked by big nose guard Jimmy Bird of Miami. 2 tough losses in a row for the Seminoles here in Miami. This will be the last play of the game. Kelly takes the snap. That is it. The game is over. So Miami runs its record to 4-0. The Seminoles, their record will drop to 3-1. The final score from the Orange Bowl as we look at Howard Schnellenberger and the Happy Hurricanes go over to shake hands with Bobby Bowden and the Florida State Seminoles. The final score, the Miami Hurricanes 10, the Florida State Seminoles 9. Jim Crosby and I will be back at the Orange Bowl to wrap it up in just a moment.